Hey guys, how are you all? Welcome to Let's Start Story on What If Naruto back in Konoha village after marriage with Terra part 1. So do 4 blue hearts comment. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video and please share with your friends and watch till end. Also check out Patreon for I have upload Naruto X Rias and Akino uncensored spicy version, link in description. Many strange things have been happening to Naruto ever since his team left Konoha. First came the visions. That was just plain weird because when he was on the road with his team, everything would distort and he would be walking in a hallway, following a guy that was dressed as a traffic light or floating in a large village where the building were sky high. Then there was the feeling of burning up throughout the mission, not that he told anyone. Finally, small blue flames appeared in his hands, but he quickly shooking it off, getting odd looks from his team and Tazuna's family, but right now, none of that mattered at the moment. Too many emotions were going through Naruto's mind at the moment. Why? Well, Zabuza's apprentice just killed Sasuke. One emotion though, wanted to protect the others the best he could, and that was enough for a hidden seal on Naruto to be completely broken. The fourth had sealed away his true power and now it was coming out all at once. He was losing control and his anger was controlling him and his power. His body started to change, his skin became orange, and his hair grew to his shoulder and turned red with yellow streaks here and there. And his hands and eyes were covered in ghostly blue fire. The fire was burning off his sleeves to reveal that he also gotten some good muscles. At the same time in another universe, the Teen Titans were doing their own thing. Beast Boy and Cyborg were playing some racing game, Raven was reading a book, but was sitting near the island counter in their kitchen. Robin was listening to some music while watching BB and Psy play, and Starfire was trying to cook something. Suddenly, Starfire felt dizzy and she dropped some plates, alerting the others since she never dropped anything. She stumbled into the living room behind the couches and fell to her hands and knees. She had feeling weird all day. It felt like she was with her twin brother again, but it faded in and out. The hers quickly rushed over to her to see what was up, but they had to jump back a bit as her power went crazy and formed a ring of fire around her. It turned into the ghostly blue that Naruto was using. Her eyes were a mix of the usual green with ocean blue, but if they saw it, it was only for a few seconds because Starfire started screaming in pain a bit. While that was happening to her, her mind was watching the events through Naruto's eyes. She saw many mirrors and through them she saw Naruto and gasped in recognition. To her it seemed that Naruto had never used his powers before and was releasing that all in one moment. She then heard what he said next. "You killed Sasuke. Now I am going to kill you." He then rushed at a mask-wearing ninja and they began to fight for a bit, but thanks to Naruto's new strength, the enemy was tiring. Naruto was just pissed as the ninja went back into his mirrors, so Naruto did the next thing that came to mind. He put his hands in front of him and a huge UILT up wave of blue energy shot out of them and through a few mirrors. Luckily, the ninja got out to a different mirror, but unluckily for Kakashi and Zabuza, who had stopped their battle because they had felt Naruto's new power, were almost incinerated by a wave of blue fire-like energy that went between them. "What in the hell?" yelled Zabuza. "Not sure, but Naruto may have a hidden bloodline limit. And one that I have never heard of before," said Kakashi. "I do know that is not the Kyuubi's power, thank God." Naruto then rushed up to the mirror that had the ninja in it and literally punched the mirror and the ninja as well after he came out. The ninja got back up but his mask cracked and fell off to reveal the boy who he had met a few days ago. Naruto's anger quickly disappeared, the fires disappeared and said, "Haku." Said ninja then told Naruto to kill him because he was a failure as a tool, but Naruto did not and Haku went and took the Raikari to the chest for Zabuza. Naruto then gave him the lecture from the anime and he asked for a kunai. "Kid, thank you, when this is over, you can have my sword. I'll be dead anyway." The ex-Mist Nin then charged into attack and kill as many as the hired help from Gachuo that he could and Gachuo himself. Sure, he got stabbed in the back a few hundred times, but he thought it was a good thing, he would be seeing Haku again. Gachuo pissed his pants when Zabuza was near, but that didn't last long because as he was killed he was thrown off the bridge. The man then walked slowly to Haku after that and fell next to him. "I am sorry, Haku. I just hope I can go to the same place as you," he said as he weakly put his hand on Haku's cheek. It then started to snow. Why are you crying? Is it for me? Zabuza chuckled and then died. The here. Ed help was about to attack them but saw that the villagers were armed to the teeth and so they just left. It was not worth it. Naruto then took Zabuza's sword like it was nothing and said, "Come on, let's go dig their graves." "Naruto, you idiot. What about Sasuke?" screamed the Banshee. The blow was obviously not a killing blow, he must have gotten back up in the middle of the fight. Naruto said, pointing to the emo king. "Sasuke," screeched Sakura but the Uchiha ignored it. Naruto, why do you look older now?" Sasuke asked. Naruto looked in a nearby puddle, he looked to be about 14 now. He shrugged. It was Kakashi who said something. It must be the effect of his bloodline awakening. Sasuke was confused but when Naruto showed him the blue fire he just shrugged as well, the bloodline try. T could also explain why his hair and skin had changed as well. "Come on guys, they at least deserve a burial," said Naruto as they took the bodies with the help of the villagers and left the bridge, and with that, the connection broke. The blue fire around Starfire died down and she slumped to the ground. She had watched everything and now knew that was her brother. He acted just like him but he seemed that he had forgotten who and what he is. Her friends had gotten her to the couch where she regained consciousness. "What happened?" asked Robin worriedly. She looked up at them all with a sad smile and tears in her eyes and said, "My brother is alive." She was just met with shocked faces. That night in Naruto's world, they had just finished giving Zabuza and Haku a burial. It was hard work but Naruto was determined to give them a good one. They were currently in Tezuna's living room when Naruto, without warning, fell on the floor, asleep. He also started to glow a greenish-blue color. "Kakashi, what is happening?" asked Sasuke. "I am not sure, this is a completely new bloodline limit to me. I just don't know," Kakashi said, so all they could do was wait and see. The connection was back again but this time, Naruto was seeing things through Starfire's eyes. Currently, Starfire was walking to the living room, because the earlier event that had happened in the morning for them and now it was in the afternoon. She didn't even notice anything was happening to her at the moment. She got to the living room and she saw Raven meditating. She walked up to her but did not say anything. Instead she looked out the window. Raven opened an eye said, "Can I help you?" "I don't understand it, friend Raven. All these years we have looked for him and now I get a connection and I have no idea where my brother even is. I would have thought Blackfire would have seen him and told me because she was just here but." Starfire said. Raven just nodded. She had lost her family too. What was he even like? "We were only 3 when he was taken somehow. He was a brave boy, and father said he was the most honest kid in the universe next to me, that was because we were twins," she said. Raven's eyebrow rose. What must have happened before was probably twin telepathy, but in alien form. "You may be right but I wish I could see him. What I saw through his eye today was very different. There was this Haku person who thought all he was a tool and wanted to die because he failed something. It seemed he had some ice powers. Then there was this one-eyed man, he was going to us. Lightning to punch some scary-looking guy but this Haku took the blow for him and died. He must have been crying in death because there was white things floating from the sky. That is what the scary man said. But even if they caused my brother pain, he still wanted to give them a good burial, he is so kind still. The only problem is that he has no idea what he is." Raven just sat there listening and said while looking in her eyes. "It seems he was a very good person, but I have to ask, what color is his eyes?" Blue, like your oceans." "Well, it seems that he will be happy and so will you because the connection is back up. Your eyes are blue-green now." At this, Naruto now knew this was not a dream. This is real. Starfire's eyes widened and said, "I heard him talk." Raven just smiled a bit before saying, "That is good. Talk to him." Starfire nodded. "Brother, can you hear me?" "Yeah, I can. Could you please tell me what we are and what happened?" "Yes, but I think I should tell the others about you. They are now in the room, it is too bad you are not over here." Walk over to them and tell them I am here, then put your hands into a cross seal and focus your energy into it saying Shadow Clone Jutsu. I think I might be able to talk to all them that way. "Okay brother." Raven, who had heard the conversation with her powers, turned to the others along with Starfire. "Friends, I have had another connection with my brother. At this, the three boys rushed over to the two and Robin said, "What? How?" Friend Raven thinks it has something to do with the twin telepathy we have because we are twins. He is here, he also found a way to talk to us as well. Here, Starfire said excitedly as he did the hand sign that Naruto showed her in her mind and used her star energy. Shadow Clone Jutsu. The energy on her hands jumped from her hands and formed Naruto. Hey, he said as he waved to them. He was still wearing the burnt orange jumpsuit. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. At this Starfire, he rushed up and gave him one of her hugs, but since he was the same thing as her, it did not hurt. Brother, I am happy to see you. Same here, so what are we and what is my name? Brother, we are Tamaranians. We are an alien race from outer space and our home planet is called Tamaran. The name you were given was Foxfire, because of your blue fire. After that, Naruto Foxfire talked with the Rs to get to know them and the world where they lived in. It was then that Beast Boy said something. Dude, you need some new threads. BB, Cyborg, and Raven then left the room for a few minutes before they came back with new clothes. Naruto put them on. He now had black shoes, blue jeans, a black shirt, and a black trench coat with blue flames at the bottom of it and on the sleeves. Raven had used her powers to imprint the kanji for Foxfire on the back in blue as well. Wow, thanks guys. No problem dude, besides we are going to try and get you over to this world where you belong, said BB while Raven and Cyborg nodded. Raven, for some reason, felt that she was like the redhead. What things can you tell us about you and your world? Naruto thought about, but he went to his knees because of the shortage of chakra. I got to go soon. I'll give you a few worlds though. Elemental countries, 5 great villages of the main elements, Shikifuin, 9 Biju, Kyuubi no Kitsune, Jinchuriki, Konoha, those are all connected, to me. And with that he disappeared, clothes and all. I will look in my book those names. Kyuubi and Biju sounds familiar. Raven said as she disappeared. Right, me and Rob. And we'll be running those Japanese names through the translator, said Cyborg. Starfire and BB felt so useless at the moment. Back with the other in Naruto's world. They had watched him all night and it was now morning. They saw him glow once more and he had new clothes on and he had also woken up. He looked at them all and said, I know what and who I am. Okay, tell us, said Kakashi. He really wanted to know. I am a Tamaranian. Ellipsis dot. Ellipsis dot dot. Ellipsis dot. What the hell is that? Asked Sasuke. A very rare clan in the elemental countries, mostly because they are from another world. Said Naruto. Well, that would explain a lot of things, okay. We are to finishing this bridge today and tomorrow we are heading home, maybe the Hokage would know about some of this. To this they just nodded and went to work. The Titans, however, found out that the Shikifuin was the Death Reaper seal, and Jinchuriki was power of human sacrifice. They were still confused until Raven rushed in and told them about the Kyuubi. The White pieced it together and figured out someone had to use this Shikifuin to seal the Kyuubi into Naruto, making him a demon container. What they wanted to know was why and how. Beast Boy was just Konfu. Said and Raven now knew that they were connected, a demon and a demon container. The next day, on their way back to Konoha, Naruto's body was on autopilot because he was currently in his mind and it was a freaking sewer. Man, I know this is my mind, but come on. Hey, since I got my bloodline, I think I become smarter. No shit, Dick Tracy, now hurry up and get to the cage. Yelled a voice. Naruto knew who it was. He would have to meet him one of these days. So he walked the numerous hallways to the cage that held the beast. So you're the Kyuubi. That I am Kit. Now I am even surprised that you're an alien. Who would have thought that? The Kyuubi broadly said. Yeah, I guess it would explain a lot. So what do you want? Oh right, it would seem that there was a seal on your bloodline, keeping it at bay. When it broke, your bloodline came out in full force, but it is bad for me. It is speeding up the process of the seal and absorbing me faster. Wow, didn't even know it did that. Ho, the hell do you think you have so much chakra? Anyway, when you awakened, it took 2 of my tails giving you a hell of a lot more chakra. Since then it has taken another. By the time you get to Konoha, I will be gone. But know this, you will take my place. Oh, as what? My heir. You will be the next king of demons. Now, I will not have a weak heir. You will train when you get back. Now, I have a question for you. What ninja art do you like the most? Sealing. Silence. What the hell is with you humans, aliens with seals? My one weakness. Fine, I will give you my knowledge of seals. It is just a bit less than the fourth Hokage's. He sent the info to Naruto's brain, who got a real bad headache, but it went away as quickly as it came. Thanks. So, do you know what me elemental affinities are? Fire and wind. Odd combination, but it makes sense because wind is your natural element and fire is because of your bloodline. Now, get out. When I die, there will be a scroll that will appear before you. It holds my knowledge, jutsu, and things you will have to know about demons. And with that, Naruto was pushed out of his mind and found himself being stared at by Kakashi. Did it talk to you? It was more a statement than a question. Naruto nodded and said, yes, and my bloodline is killing it. That statement made his eye widen and the others to just be confused as hell. Naruto shrugged it off and continued to walk. That night they rested and Naruto took the first watch, which was the longest. During that time, he took his new knowledge of seals and created a bunch of seals on his coat and clothes. The ones on his clothes were to repair them if they got scrapped up from battle. The seals in his coat were for the same thing, along with gravity seals, to which he put it up to 100 times gravity. And storage seals. He put a storage seal collar of his coat to put his sword in, but he would keep the hilt out for easy release, but his hair would hide it from view. He also put a few seals on the sword as well. It did not change it much except that the seals formed a picture on each side of the sword. One was a dragon and the other was a fox, and if one would look closely, they would see a phoenix on the hilt. These seals were to protect the sword from the weather, battle, and other things. They also were a form of security, so only he could use the sword. If some W or E to try and use it, they would get spiked in the hands, then shocked by 1000 volts of electricity, and then burnt with superheated blue fire. I see you used your time wisely, said Kakashi as he walked up to him. So what do you mean that your bloodline is killing the Kyuubi? Sai, it is making the seal that holds the Kyuubi to work in overdrive to absorb it faster. It takes the Kyuubi's chakra and turns it into my chakra. Wow, so how much of the Kyuubi's chakra do you have? 3 taels or more right now, and the Kyuubi said that it would not live to ever see Konoha ever again. That is great, said Kakashi. Yep, now I am going to sleep, said Naruto as he walked off to his tent. Hey, the Hokage will have a heart attack when he hears this. Now let's see the next chapter of Icha. The next day at the gates, Sasuke was the first one to say anything to Naruto. Hey, what the hell? Your whisker marks just sizzled off of you. What happened? The guards who saw this wanted to know as well, since they were good to the blonde. Naruto then said in a cryptic tone to his teammates but not to the old people, my burden has been lifted. Yes, well, we should get going to the Hokage then, said Kakashi as they left 2 gobsmacked guard in their wake. When they got there, the Hokage wanted to know where Naruto was. Old man, I am Naruto. The Hokage blinked and said, what happened? I awakened my bloodline, Naruto said as he flashed a smile. The Hokage gawked for a few seconds before saying to himself, this is happening too soon. What do you mean, Lord Hokage? Asked the one-eyed man. I thought that bloodline was dead, with his aunt and uncle. It is your choice, Naruto. Do you want your teammates here for this, because I am sure you already know. Yeah, they're going to find out anyway. Find out what? Asked Sakura, but she was ignored like usual. Naruto, you are not from this world, and neither were your aunt and uncle. Your aunt was Kushina Uzumaki, not sure what her real name was. The red-hot-blooded habanero. Kakashi practically yelled. Yes, the reason for that was because she had red energy when she got to this world. Starfire said she was a great warrior before she got sucked into a black hole with her husband, said Naruto, surprising even the old man at how much he knew. Yes, and your uncle and her lover was Minato Namikaze. The old man said shocked looks from everyone except Naruto. Yeah, from what it would seem, when they were sucked into that black hole they were separated, turned into kids, and the color of their fires changed. Kushina was picked up by the Uzumaki clan and her fire had turned blood red. Minato was probably picked up here in Konoha and his was yellow. Am I right? Asked Naruto. The Hokage could only nod. Now me. I was taken from my home at 3. But it must have gone wrong. I was also sucked into the same black hole, but the only thing that happened to me was that I revert back to a baby and I lost my memories, which I am getting back. That is when the 4th Hokage found me and sealed the Kyuubi in me, but also for some reason seal away my bloodline. Now it is back and it killed the Kyuubi. The Hokage could only nod once more. Ah, who is Starfire? She is my twin sister from the world I was born in. I will find a way to get back, just so you know. I knew that would happen, so anything else I should know. Oh yeah, from the memories I get when I sleep, I also have another sister called Blackfire. My true name is Foxfire, and oh yeah, I am a prince. There was nothing but silence for a few seconds after that before everyone in the village heard. Hot. Ow, and here I thought I was loud, chuckled Naruto. What sec? You are an alien prince, you're related to the 4th Hokage, and the 2nd Uzukage. What the hell? Screeched Sakura. Hey, cool, said Sasuke, not even fazed by the banshees screaming. You are really not useless anymore. Yeah well, thanks, I guess, said Naruto with an annoyed look. Now, I was supposed to give you this stuff either with you reached Chunin or gained your bloodline, which you have, said the old man as he tossed a few scrolls at Naruto. 2-0. F them or letters from them, and the last one is the deed to your new house, located in the forest above the Hokage's faces. When he was done talking, noticed that Naruto had already read the 2 letters. Hey, I guess I was right about what happened, but it would seem they regained their memories once they met me, said the redhead. Oh, so what else did they give you? Asked Sasuke. The forbidden scroll is mine. Some scroll that holds 2 of the great jutsu the 4th ever created, and a scroll from my aunt about sword skills. The alien prince replied. Kakashi, Sasuke, Sakura all gawked at that. After that, the Hokage dismissed them. Kakashi left them to read one of his books and Sasuke went to do his own thing. That left Sakura and Naruto. Unfortunately, Konohamaru and his friend S decided to show up in square rock form. Oh come on man, rocks are not square. Naruto deadpanned. I knew it was you boss. Clever as always, it said as it exploded in a poof of smoke to reveal him and his friends. We are the Konohamaru Corps, they said as they made a weird pose. Okay, so what do you want? Play ninja with us boss. Konohamaru said, not really caring about Naruto's new looks. Huh, a ninja playing ninja, how stupid. Sakura put her 2 cents in. The Hokage's grandkid looked between the 2 and smirked. Nice going boss, but is that really your girlfriend? The Two-Face vaulted before Sakura screeched, no. And Naruto said, nope, besides, she is not my type. Making Sakura gawk at him. Oh yeah, then what was that crap in the academy, huh? Oh I was just trying to annoy you, worked out pretty well too. Smirked Naruto making Sakura have an angry blush. Oh good one boss. Laughed Konohamaru, besides, her forehead is just way too big. Naruto paled at Sakura's ki and told them to all run. To which they all agreed. Konohamaru, you nuts for saying that. They ran for a bit until Konohamaru ran into a guy who was dressed like a cat and had makeup on. Ow, you're gonna pay for that you brat. Kankuro. Just put him down, said the blonde girl with 4 pigtails that came up behind him. But he hurt me Tamari, now I am going to hurt him. Whatever, but I want no part of it. She said. You won't be hurting anyone, said Naruto as he came up to them. Oh, wow, local hottie. He doesn't look so tough, and what are you going to do? Mr. Cat replied. This, Naruto said, as he disappeared and reappeared with the kid back with his friends and Sakura, and Naruto had his blade at his neck while he was behind him, shocking everyone. Besides, I don't think your raccoon friend up in the tree would like you hurting the Hokage's grandson. Again, everyone was shocked and Gaara-san shushined to where the blonde was and said, please release my brother. Kankuro, you are a disgrace the Sand Village. Next time I will kill you. Gaara said. Who are you? He said to Naruto. Name's Naruto Uzumaki, or Foxfire. He said as he showed off some fire to which Gaara had an insane smirk. Ah, the savior of Wave Country. I will enjoy killing you. Hey, said the insane Rakken. Naruto replied making the 3 sand nin widen their eyes. Yeah, I know you are a Jinchuriki, for I was one myself. And with that he and the rest of the Konoha nin walked off, leaving confused Sand Nin in their wake. That night in Naruto's new home. It had taken the rest of the day to get his stuff packed and moved to his new home, and he thought it was great. He had a living room, a kitchen, a dojo and a game room on one floor and a common room and bedrooms on the second floor. He had a 3rd floor for the master bedroom, which he took. He also had an outdoor dojo and hot springs to cool off. Yeah, this was great. I should go check on the Titans, he started meditating in his room. He found that he was staring at his sister and was about to say something when everything was explained. It seemed the Puppet King had come and took the 3 boys' bodies as puppets, and Starfire and Raven had switched bodies. Starfire, you have to calm down. My powers are driven by emotion. The more you feel, the more energy you unleash, said Raven in Starfire's body. But what if they find us? What if our friends are doomed? What if I am stuck looking like this forever? Starfire said as she was in Raven's body as she smacked herself. We'll fix it, I don't know how, but we will rescue the boys and we will get our bodies back, said Raven. What's wrong with the way I look? Nothing. Starfire squeaked out as a traffic light exploded. I will try to calm down. Peace, quiet, tranquility. The last one blew up a car. We are so doomed, said Raven, and then they heard Beast Boy in bird form. Beast Boy, yelled Starfire. You mean zombie Beast Boy? Run, said Raven. I think I came at a bad time. Anything I can do to help? Asked Naruto, but surprisingly they both heard him. Naruto. They both said, yeah, since I am in both of your minds, just say T-clone, I think I can help with my new clone jutsu. They nodded and both yelled out, T-clone. And Naruto appeared before them. They were currently in an alley. I do not wish to fight them again. We might have to, so we need to be ready, said Naruto. Raven then asked Starfire how to use her power, but they were powered by emotion and Raven was screwed. Then they were attacked by BB and Robin, but the two missed and attacked each other. Then they had a run-in with Cyborg and Raven told Starfire how to use her powers. That could have been better because they went zooming into the air and out of control. Naruto sighed and flew after them. They landed in some garbage and Starfire said something weird, to which Naruto will ask about later. They hid for a bit, waiting for the others to go, but they heard the Puppet King talking about a ceremony to destroy the Titans once and for all and left. They decided to get to know each other more so the two of them could use their powers. Naruto just listened and was forming a plan. Naruto and the two girls appeared in front of the building that held the captive Titans. They appeared a few feet away and noticed that Beast Boy was patrolling in dog form. Well, we won't be getting in that way, said Raven. Let's try the roof, stated Naruto as they nodded and flew up to the top. Once they were there, Raven told Starfire how to open the lock and she did well until she got excited and blew open the door. Nice work, deadpanned Raven. Naruto just smacked his head. Once they were inside they had to watch the creepy puppet make some ceremony thing to destroy the Titans. When he was about to drop the Titans into the blue-like fire, Starfire used Raven's power to reclaim them. My friends, you are unharmed, said Starfire as she hugged them. Starfire, asked Robin. It is a long story, said Raven. Yeah, one that they will tell you later, said Naruto. Naruto, yelled the three boys. Go my puppets, capture them. We'll deal with the new one later. The puppet king said as they rushed Naruto and the girls and they got hit with a sonic wave. While Starfire and Raven were fighting Robin and Beast Boy, Naruto was dealing with Cyborg. Come on man, he said as he dodged a few sonic waves. Naruto then punched him away only for him to bounce back and slam Naruto into a wall. Geez, puppets are a pain in the ass. He then jumped away from the metal man's kick and looked toward the other two. They were doing good so far. Raven was having trouble using her emotions, but when Starfire pointed out that the Puppet King was about to rid the Titans from the world, Raven got pissed and used a starbolt to blast him away from that blue fire. Unfortunately, for the Puppet King, his controller was blown into the fire and destroyed. That made the Titans all go back to their rightful bodies. I am me. And you are you, said Starfire to Raven. And we are us, said a happy Cyborg. Thanks to you three, said Robin. You go girls, and Foxfire, said Beast Boy. Raven, Foxfire. We have done it. Starfire said as she hugged Raven tightly. You are hugging me, Raven said while Naruto chuckled. No. The magic, without it, the Puppet King said as he tried to get up and finish his sentence but went dead. An ordinary puppet, Naruto quipped, but he decided to freak out the Titans by using chakra strings to make it move. Dude, he is still alive. Sorry BB, that is not it. It is chakra strings, chuckled Naruto making the others sigh. I'll take this guy with me, might be useful. Oh, I'll say a guys later, said Naruto as he disappeared and the Titans went and did their things. He was sure the two girls learned something about each other. Naruto woke up from his meditation trance with the Puppet King in his lap. Good thing I read a book about chakra strings. I just wonder what I could use for this guy. He shrugged and then sealed it away. He would deal with that later. He had a team meeting today. So with that he flamed Shushine to the bridge, scaring the crap out of his teammates. A few seconds later, Kakashi appeared. Before you say I am late. I got here before Kakashi so I am on time, said Naruto to Sakura who grumbled. Kakashi just sweat dropped and said, yeah. Well, I got you all signed up for the Chunin exams, meet tomorrow at room 312 at the academy at 9 o'clock. He said as he passed them some papers and then disappeared to do whatever. They just shrugged and did their own thing. Naruto trained in some new jutsu and see what he could do with the Puppet King. Sakura stalked Sasuke and Sasuke, nobody really wants to know, shivers. The next day, they arrived at the entrance and went in. They were only at the second floor and noticed that a bunch of people were trying to get in a genjutsu room. Well, this will make it easier for us. If they can't tell that they only went up one set of stairs, said Naruto as they just nodded and went up. But it seemed that Rock Lee was watching them leave and went after them. They were a few rooms away from the room they were supposed to be when Lee challenged Sasuke to a duel. Naruto went his own way while leaned against the wall knowing the outcome of the battle. He had heard about how Lee was a taijutsu specialist. When they came back up Sasuke looked beat up though both Sasuke and Sakura looked freaked out and he did not want to know. So they made it to the room where they found Kakashi wait for them. He gave them some lecture and let them in. They were met with cold stares from more than half the room. Man, can't you all lighten up? Said aboard Naruto as the key went up more. Sasuke, screamed Ino as she came up to them and hugged the emo from the back and Sakura started fighting with her. Man, what a drag, said Shikamaru as he came up with the other rookie 9. What, did Naruto die already? Asked Kiba and at this Hinata looked about ready to cry. No dog breath, I just unlocked my bloodline, said Naruto and they all looked at him in shock. Whoa, Naruto you look hot, said Ino with a blush and Hinata glared at her, but couldn't help but drool a bit at Naruto's new look. Okay, so what is it called? I never heard of a bloodline that turns the skin orange, asked Choji between bites. I am a Tamaranian, an old bloodline that went to another world. Naruto replied. Interesting, Shino said as he and his bugs observed him. Would you quiet down? Said a voice. They all turned around to find a young kid in purple, glasses, and silver hair. This is no cakewalk, just so you know. The room is already tense and now you just made a lot of enemies, he said pointing the people in the room. They looked and everyone except Naruto and Sasuke paled. So, they were our enemies to begin with, said Naruto. Yes but like I said, this is no cakewalk. I have taken this 7 times, it is that hard, said the boy. Oh. Where are my manners? I am Kabuto. I have made nin cards. If you want info on someone just ask. Sasuke smirked and said, Rock Lee of Konoha, Gaara of the Sands. And Naruto Uzumaki of Konoha. Oh, you know their names, good. Four Eyes said as he took 3 cards out of his deck. Let's see, Rock Lee is a master of taijutsu but his other skills are non-existent. His teammates are Neji Hyuga and Tenten. They have done 50D ranks and 40C ranks. Next we have Gaara of the Sand. He uses sand but no much else. His teammates are Tamari and Konkuro. He has done 50D ranks, 30C ranks, and wow, 0.1B rank and throughout all of these missions, he came back unharmed. This made a lot of people uneasy at this. Okay, now we have Naruto Uzumaki, wait. It seems they call him Foxfire, wait the Foxfire. He looked up and Naruto nodded and the room's key increased. Everyone outside of Konoha knew of him and most feared him. How come we never heard of this? Asked Kiba. Most likely the council still hates me. Why? Asked Shino. Long story, I'll tell you later. Yes, well, Naruto has done 30 D ranks, 1 C rank that turned into an A rank where he got his name. Said Kabuto as he went on to tell the others about the other villages and he pissed off the Sound Ninja. They rushed in to attack him but Naruto blocked their path with his sword. Shocking and angering a lot of people. The Mist Nin were the most pissed. Foxfire. We will kill you and get the sword back for our village. Said a random Mist Nin but was interrupted by a poof of smoke with a voice behind it. Not on my watch. Now pick a seat and shut up. The first exam starts now. Said a man. I am Ibiki and I am your worst nightmare. As soon as the test were passed out ND the rules laid down Naruto took one look at the test and thought, oh shit. He thought about looking at Hinata's Taze, who sat next to him, but decided not to, he had a better idea. So he contacted Starfire. Hey Star. Back in the Titan's world, Starfire looked up and thought, yes brother. I am taking the Chunin exams, the first part of it is a written test. But that is not important. I made a jutsu where I can show you the exams. Do you and the others want to watch? How will we see it brother? On your TV. Okay I will ask. Friends. I have news. What is it Star? Asked Robin. Naruto is tacky. In his Chunin exam and wants to know if we would like to watch. He has made a jutsu to show us on the TV. Dude, that is awesome. I am in, said BB. Raven was interested and closed her book and nodded. Sure, nothing good is on anyway. Sai said. Yeah, it is okay with me. Robin said. Starfire nodded and thought, it is okay brother, you may do it. Alright. Back in Naruto's world, he did 2 silent jutsus. One for him and one for the TV connection. Inner eye style, all view eye jutsu. His vision was sorta like the Byakugan but in color and he could see the test answers. Alright now, dimension style, dimension eye. And with that the Titan's TV went crazy for a minute until they saw everything. It seemed that Naruto made an invisible eye above the test taker that moved whenever needed. Dude this is awesome, but even I hate written tests, said BB. That is because you lack the knowledge to do them. Raven quipped and BB had steam coming out of his ears while the others laughed. They found out they could heard Naruto's thoughts. Okay, the purpose of this test is to measure our information gathering skills. The clan children will use their bloodline power to do this while I am using a jutsu. An hour passed after that. The Titans saw how some of the ninja got their answers. Team Guy had used mirrors and Neji's Byakugan, Gaara used his sand eye, Kankuro used his puppet to help him and Tamari. The Hinata used their Byakugan, the Uchiha Usde his Sharingan, Ino went into Sakura's mind, that one made Raven's eyes go wide, Shino used his bugs, and Kiba used his dog. A lot of were caught and thrown out which made Sai and BB laugh. Robin actually learned how to be stealthier. Alright you maggots, time for the final question. Now you can choose not to take it and come back later. Ibiki said and a random ninja asked why. Because, if you fail this question, you will be a genin for the rest of your life. There were cries of outrage and Ibiki shut them up. Tough shit. You unlucky lot got me for a proctor this time. At that a lot of people started leaving, that was until Naruto yelled about not giving up and working his way up the ninja ranks through whatever means possible. This gave a lot of people their courage back and they stayed, much to the surprise of Ibiki. Are you sure that is all? No one moved. Very well then you all. Everyone was hanging it to what he said next. And the Titans were on the edge of their seats. Pass. At this they face vaulted and the ninja all cried out, what? Ibiki then explained the nature of the test and most people got it. Now it is time for your next exam. Ibiki said but was cut off as something crashed through the window and a banner came up that said, the hot and sexy Anko. Second proctor. With Anko in the middle. Damn it Anko. You're early again. A lot of people had sweat drops on their heads and the Titans had gobsmacked looks on their faces. Though the Titan boys had blushes on their faces thanks to Anko's outfit. So, said Anko as she looked out into the crowd. Damn Ibiki, you're losing your touch. Not my fault we got some good ninja this time. Ah what do you know, I will cut that number in half when my test is over. Now maggots, get to training ground 44 or else. She yelled. They all quickly left, but seemed that the Titans were needed and Starfire said, "Borthor, we must go now, we will watch when we get back." Alright. Later then. Thought Naruto as the connections were cut and he went to the Forest of Death. When he got there, Enko started explaining the rules and what to expect in their Forest of Death. "Oh, and don't die," she said a little too happily for everyone because they shivered. Naruto decided to mock her and got a kunai to the cheek. "You're not taking me serious, my hot friend," she said as she licked his cheek and he shivered. Between most of the guys, some thought he was lucky and others just shivered again. "Sorry, but I don't think I am your type." Naruto ate as he appeared in a nearby branch and the Naruto she was holding went up in blue flames, shocking a lot of people. "Oh, we'll see," she said a little too happily again and winked. After that they all went to get their scrolls. Naruto made a fake heaven scroll and gave it to Sasuke while he kept the real one. When the sounder went off they rushed into the forest and into a random direction. "We should have password just in case we get separated," stated Sasuke. What should be Sasuke-kun?" asked the pink-haired one. "I think it should be something we all know. Pink fire, blue fire, Norm, what do you get?" asked Naruto. Got me," asked Sasuke. "An orange explosion, remember that?" he said, to which the others just nodded. "Okay, well I am going to the bathroom," he then walked off. A few minutes later, Naruto appeared and Sasuke asked the question, to which the guy just said yellow fire. They knocked out the ninja that turned out to be a mist nin but fell on their knees soon after because of the mysterious grass nin. With Naruto, he was currently in the belly of a snake. "Oh come on, can't a guy go to the bathroom in peace?" he said as he struggled in the stomach of the big snake. "That's it, Eye of the Storm," he yelled out, and the wind on the inside and outside of the snake started picking up and turned into blades. He was the Eye of the Storm, and while the rest of the snake was being sliced up by the hurricane force winds. Let's just say there were a lot of snake guts everywhere. Some of it got on a nearby team and they panicked and screamed while running away. He cleaned himself off with a small wind jutsu and started running toward the others. When he got there, Sasuke was about to be bitten by none other than the snake freak himself. Naruto got in the way and yelled out, "Star Flare." He body glowed with his energy, and since Orochimaru was in front of him, he got the full blast of the light. "Ah, my eyes. I am going to kill you," yelled Orochimaru. While he was dealing with his eyes, Naruto had taken out his new sword. When Orochimaru got his vision back, he saw Naruto with his sword drawn and said, "The famous Foxfire, your jutsu have made you famous. No one ever thought to use blue fire. Sadly, I am going to kill you now," he said as he brought out his own sword from his mouth. So with that they rush at each other, and Orochimaru was surprised that the famous grass cutter sword was not cutting through Naruto's sword. "Why is it not cutting through?" "Hey, ever heard of seals?" asked Naruto with a smirk. "Seals don't interest me," the snake said. "Oh really? Then how about I release an experimental seal I have been working on," said Naruto as he put his hand on the blade as all the seals glowed. Soul Blade 1. The blade looked like a bigger version of Zabumaru from Bleach, but it also still looked like the same blade until he started using it like a whip. Orochimaru had to dodge furiously to avoid being hit by the twisting blow. But he did get hit twice and it created gashes, one on his shoulder and one across his chest. After a few more sword strikes, Naruto used his fist and tried to punch the snake but missed and hit a tree, making it fly off somewhere. "Oh shit, he has Tsunade's strength. I better bite the Uchiha fast and get the hell out of here. I still need to be hidden somewhere else." A team of random ninja were running from a huge bug-like creature when a tree flew by them and crushed the bug. What just happened? With Shino and the others, Shino shivered and Hinata asked what was wrong. "I feel a disturbance in the force." Back with Naruto. The Mad Snake grinned just a bit. This would also mean that he would be able to use his more dangerous jutsu. Quickly making some hand signs, he preformed a wind jutsu just as Naruto was a few meters away from him. Wind style. Great breakthrough. The blonde was instantly blown back into some trees. "Oh hell no." Naruto growled as he shot off multiple blasts of his Fox Fire to direct Orochimaru while he gathered some more power. "I hope this works," Naruto growled, He had seen these things in the Bleach manga when he was a kid. Bankai. The snake man quirked an eyebrow as he saw the blonde sword shift into that of a tribal-looking wooden snake. Orochimaru was once again trying to dodge a snake of all things. Once he got rammed in the back and hit a tree. Snake man growled as he popped his back and went through series of hand signs and then crouched on the floor as dozens of snake poured out his mouth. Ninja art. Myriad snake net formation. The snakes rushed at Naruto's form. Naruto brought his snake-like sword and slammed it down on the path the Orochimaru's snakes. Unfortunately, the snakes burst through the sword, making the blonde lose his concentration and the blade shit back to its original form. Naruto panicked at that and did the only jutsu he could think of at the moment. Star Dome. He brought his hands to both sides of his body and the blue fire shot out, forming a dome of super hot fire surrounded him. The snakes all rushed forward and they all burnt up in the fire. When the dome dissipated, Naruto looked around for the snake, and could not find him until he turned around and he noticed that his bottom half had turned into snake. Sasuke weakly looked up. Naruto had been getting better all this time, and what had he been doing? Brooding, that's what. Then he saw the snake maw, but was too late to yell out a reply. He didn't get to think on that much because the snake man enwrapped himself around the blonde, constricting and squeezing the life out of Naruto. Ku. Well fought Foxfire, but now it is time for you die. It's Naruto. You gay fuck. Naruto wheezed before he channeled his fire and chakra all over his body. Orochimaru's eyebrows shot past his hairline. This is the Kyuubi brat. I would have thought that Konoha hold him back as much as possible and give all their attention to Sasuke-kun. Wait, what is he doing now? Star burst. Naruto managed to yell out and him and the snake were covered in an all-way blast of blue fire. Orochimaru was thrown back against a tree again, but this time he was covered in second and third degree burns. For a moment he just laid there until a hand shot out of his mouth and Orochimaru came out of his own body. All three genin had, what the fuck, looks on their faces. I am tired of this. My thoughts exactly. Naruto yelled as he flew upward and started gathering all the chakra and fox fire in his hand as he could. He even felt himself drawing on the power of the stars themselves from above. Orochimaru, seeing that all this could possibly kill him, he took precautions. Summoning jutsu, triple Rashomon. Thanks to the summoning, the ground shooking violently. And a lot of the genin hopefuls wondered what the hell was going on. So to relinquish their curiosity they took to the trees and saw the three large structure just rising from the forest floor. If the Y had been shocked by this, then they will be shell-shocked by the next show of power. Naruto glared at Orochimaru through his three barriers. Time to end this. Fire style. Nova shot. Naruto threw the energy ball. That was more white than blue. He had formed, and once it hit the barriers, well, the first one was blown away as soon as it was hit. He saw it having trouble with the second barrier, but not by much. So he sent a constant beam of foxfire toward it, instantly giving it the force needed to break through the second barrier and also making the energy veer off in a V pattern, making the energy blast through forest with ease. Suddenly, Orochimaru saw a large crack in his final barrier and thought quickly. He created a shadow clone a few feet behind where the blonde would land and witched himself right as it broke through and caused large explosion. All the genin had their jaws on the forest floor and instantly knew that they did not want to fight whoever that was. However, M8 had been a little too close to one of the paths of the flames. Their eyes were all very wide and fearful. They stole a look between each other and nodded. They quickly hightailed to the tower before any more shit happens. They had enough near-death experience for one day, thank you. Sasuke and Sakura, who had pale faces, and thankfully were behind the blonde when he did that. They saw the snake appear where Naruto would land, yelled out Tom, but it fell on deaf ears. Naruto tiredly landed on a nearby branch. That had really drained his chakra, even if had a crap load of it. He really needed more chakra control. Orochimaru then made a few hands, said, Snake Paralyzer. He slammed his hands in the ground and a purple snake came out, coiled around the tree, and struck Naruto, making him go unconscious with his sword automatically going back in the seal, and with Sakura's quick thinking from far away, she threw a kunai and caught Naruto. Orochimaru then did his curse seal jutsu and Bit Sasuke telling him to come to him for power. Naruto was unconscious for now, but his mind went to the Titans' world. The Titans were just getting back from their mission when Raven felt an odd energy in the sky and looked up. They all followed her gaze and saw that the clouds looked to be swirling apart to let a figure drop from the sky. Raven widened her eyes and yelled out, "Naruto!" As she pointed up, the other Titans were shocked to find Naruto falling from the sky. "What the heck is going on?" asked Cyborg. Starfire didn't bother to answer, instead she flew up to catch the boy before he plunged into the water. She then brought him into the tower and then others followed. She then laid him on the couch and as soon as the others came in, he woke up. "Ah, what hit me?" the blonde said. He then looked around at the others and said, "Okay, this is weird. I know I did not use the T-clone. We are not sure either, brother. You just fell from the sky." Starfire said, "Well, the last thing I remember is being struck with one of Orochimaru's jutsu. Hey, I must be unconscious, and since I have a connection to Starfire, my mind must have went here," Naruto rambled. "That is possible," said Raven. "Well, at least I get some time to hang out with you guys. So what happened since I last heard from you all?" he asked. The Titans looked at each other and Robin started off with the Red X episode. They each told what happened up until Blurthog. "So wait, I missed a Tamaranian holiday," groaned Naruto. "I am sorry, brother, but next year's will be great with you there as well," said Starfire. "I guess. But I will not miss next year's." "That is cool, but isn't the Chunin exams going on?" asked Robin. "Yeah, but the second test is for 5 days and until I wake up. I am not going anywhere," said Naruto. "Hey, looks like you stuck with us for a bit then, you wouldn't mind staying with us, do you?" joked BB, to which Raven's sweat dropped on. "I guess not." Naruto shrugged. "Cool, and since you already helped us before, catch," said Robin as he threw a communicator at Naruto, who caught it. "Hey, thanks man. It is no problem. Starfire asked me to give you that the next time you came, and she already set up a room. She'll show you the way," said Robin as they left. "Are you going to ask him about the Kyuubi and those seals?" Raven said. "Yeah, in a bit," said Robin. As soon as EY got back, Robin asked about the Kyuubi. "Well, the day I was born the Kyuubi no Kitsune came and attacked my village. My uncle, the 4th Hokage, gave up his life to seal the Kyuubi and me, but he also sealed my alien powers to keep me safe, I guess. Anyway, when I was on the mission to Wave, I thought that my teammate had died and that pissed me off. It unlocked my alien power and that is how Starfire found out about me. Now on the way back to my home village of Konoha, the Kyuubi contacted me and said that my alien pose were making the seal that held the Kyuubi work faster in absorbing it. I now have all of its chakra. Since I had the 9-tailed fox in me, I was called a demon container. Now since he was the strongest of the tailed beasts, there are more, likely 8 other people like I was. I only know of one and his name is Gaara. He has the 1-tailed raccoon." Naruto finished. "Whoa, I wonder if I could turn into these beasts." BB pondered. "Probably, the raccoon was a sand raccoon where its body was made of sand. Could be useful for you. I'll say," said BB. I have read about these tailed beasts. They were pretty strong as they were from different worlds and were banished into our world where they could be controlled. These beasts were massive. The beasts were a 1-tailed raccoon, 2-tailed ghost cat, 3-tailed turtle, 4-tailed monkey, the 5-tailed dolphin horse, 6-tailed slug, 7-tailed horned beetle, 8-tailed ox, and the 9-tailed fox. It is said that if they ever combine they will create the creature from hell." "Anima," said Raven. "Wow, didn't know that," said BB and Naruto at the same time. "Hey BB, try turning into the sand raccoon later, might help you," said Naruto. "This information does make it easier to locate your world and then try and rip open a portal to it," said Raven. "Good to know," said Naruto. He then turned his head out the window. "What is it, brother? I sense 2 chakra signatures out there, one is chasing the other. Let's go see what it is about, Titans," ordered Robin as they left to go see. When they got there, they saw a girl getting chased by a huge scorpion. "Hey, that is something you don't see every day," Naruto joked, which BB and Sai laughed. They saw the girl get cornered and Robin yelled out, "Titans go!" But it seemed that the girl had led the creature into a trap and used the earth to take it out by slamming a huge piece of earth, which looked like a bridge. On it. She was not in trouble, said Starfire. She was leading it into a trap. Sai said. Question is. Robin started. Who is she? BB finished for Robin. Why? Had I wonder how she got her earth powers. Naruto said, putting his 2 cents in. Unfortunately for them, Slade was watching. She then used her powers to rise up to them, and when she saw them she asked, what? Haven't you guys seen a superhero before? Robin decided to talk and said, Robin and we are the Teen Titans, she said as she pounded his fist. Rock on, it is cool to meet you guys. I am Terra, and your cyborg, Raven. Starfire and, she said as he pointed to each of them until BB tried saying his name and failing miserably, Beast Boy. At this he just turned into a floating turtle. Dude, that is hilarious. Hilarious. Me, really? He asked and she just winked, which made him fall. Cyborg pretend to catch him but he just let him fall. Oh, and you're the new guy the first have been hearing about. Foxfire, right? Yep, but you can call me Naruto if y'all want. He said as he shook her hand, thinking that she was cute. Curiosity of bounds, please, where do you come from, how did you get here? What is your favorite color, do you wish to be my friend? Starfire asked in one breath. Naruto just shook his head and asked Raven. I know I don't know her that well, but is she always like this? To which Raven just nodded. Earth, walked, red, and shore. Terra said as she leaned back a bit. Starfire then hugged her tightly saying, hello new friend. How's it going? Terra managed to get out. Then as she was straightening out her arms BB asked, so what bring a cool little chickie to our big groovy city huh? And Naruto just smack his head. I go where the wind takes me, you know. I get to see new places. Meet new people, stomp a few bad guys here and there. Cool ha ha ha, said BB. Fascinating. Well alright, sounds like fun, said Naruto. Raven and Robin just looked at each other. You mean you don't have a home? Asked Robin. The earth is my home, I have been crashing in a cave on the other side of the hill. Unacceptable, yelled Star. I cannot permit my friend to live in a lonely cave of darkness. I have a flashlight, you will stay with us. Starfire said as she started dragging the poor girl to the T-Tower. She started to argue but BB and Sai cut in telling her it was okay. Raven noticed Robin was feeling the ground for something and said, everything okay? Not sure. Yeah, her chakra is a little off, said Naruto. As they left the spot it broke away and fell to the ground. Her control sucks, he thought as he heard it. Though mine is not any better. Once they were at the tower, BB wanted to know if he could help at all, but all she asked for was food. And food she ate, a lot of it. Naruto smirked, he could eat more though. When Starfire offered her some homemade glork she ate it and said it tastes like sushi mixed with ice cream. I should try it then, said Naruto thoughtfully while the other Titans just looked at them like they were crazy. So for the rest of the day, Terra cleaned up and when it was time to sleep, she crashed on the couch. The Titans talked it over and they would see how she would do tomorrow during practice. She went outside during the night and BB went to see what was up. They talked for a bit and Naruto heard what she saw yet about her sucky control over her powers. He was on the roof and thought, duh. The next day they saw Sai go through the obstacle course and when he was done he yelled out about setting a new course record. Hey, my turn, said Naruto as he got ready. As soon as it started, laser beams shot at him and he used his ninja reflexes to jump out of the way. He also had to jump away from giant hands that came out of the ground but he did punch one and sent it flying into the air. He did all the while the peanut gallery cheering for him. He then sped through the falling walls but had to jump above on to get though. Then the ground gave out to show a large hole, which he fell into but he used his fire to launch himself out of the hole. It sounded like a rocket going off and when he landed, a few more drones came out of the ground and started shooting at him. He then brought out his sword and yelled out, Soul Seal 2 inches and his blade disappeared and out of nowhere, the drones, flying discs were cut to pieces by a swarm of pink things. So with that he was finished, in 2 minutes flat. The Titans just looked at him Dude, what was that? Yes, and why did you not use our flight ability? Asked Starfire. Oh, Yeah, I am really good with seals and it seems that I can make them do whatever I want. What you saw was that my blade split into thousands of small blades to protect me. When the light catches them, they turn pink. I think the correct name for this would be Senbon Sakura. As for not flying like normal, well, I wanted to try something new, don't wanna have to rely on it so much. At this, Starfire just made O with her mouth. Whoa, that is something. Who knew? Asked Cyborg. You even beat my time. Yeah, cool huh? Naruto smirked. Okay Earth Girl, your turn. That Terra got ready and he could hear BB saying that she would be okay and she was. It was the obstacle course that was in trouble. It was pretty much demolished. Yay Raven, we will really need a new obstacle course. Then everyone's communicator were going off. But instead of the usual communicator alarm, the flames on Naruto's trench coat were flashing. He had made a seal to do that as well. Okay, why is everyone blinking and flashing? Asked Terra, so the next thing they did was go back inside to see what was up. They found out it was Slade and went to the mines. When they go there they saw many Slade bots. Okay, I am not picking up any chakra signatures. They're not alive Foxfire, they are robots that Slade has made, said Robin. Okay then, Naruto said as Terra was very confused as she had no clue what chakra was. Titans go. With that they all separated to attack the bots. Naruto shot a few fire bolts with his sister and then smirked seeing that these things were not that smart. I wonder how much these things can lift. At this Star looked at him oddly. What do you mean brother? I mean this. Soul Seal 3. The blade glowed again and this time it grew again into look like a giant square fish hook. He then rushed up to one and slashed it a few times and before it fell, he kicked it at few other that were coming after him. They were crushed underneath the weight. Near the end of the fight, they all heard Terra yelled out Beast Boy and then a loud crash. When they got to the rubble, Naruto and Robin started removing the rocks until they saw green sand going into the rue. BBLE and it morphed into a green gorilla. Nice. You were actually able to turn into Shukaku to cushion the fall, said Naruto. You okay? Asked Robin and BB nodded his head. Where's Terra? He asked. But the other just shook their heads and he went to look for her while more Slade bots came and attacked. Aw man, don't these things ever quit? Naruto said as he blasted a few with his fire and mad. The others go heavy with a few swipes of his blade. After about 10 minutes of Terra and BB being gone, the mine started collapsing. We need to get out of here, Raven said in her usual monotone. Quote, Slade is trying to bring down the whole mine, replied Sai. I am not sure this is Slade, said Robin. I think you right Robin. I feel traces of Terra's energy all over the place. Slade must have pissed her off or something, said Naruto as Starfire flew next to them. I cannot locate Terra or Beast Boy. Oh this is not good, said Naruto, but then the shacking stopped. Okay, I don't feel her energy all over the place. BB must have calmed her down. To this the other just nodded. Later that night he saw Terra's bag was all filled. Is she leaving? He then thought about it and put in a scroll in her bag. Where she would find it later. He then went to tell the others. An hour later, she started to leave. Well guys it's been real. Seriously, thanks for everything but I should. Don't even think about it. Sai said, standing in the doorway. Okay, she said as he turned to the others, what is going on? Well, Raven started. We talked it over and, said Sai. We wish for you to stay here, with us. Starfire giggled. We think you'd make a great addition to our team. Robin. Yeah, I can't be the new guy forever, Earth Girl, smirked Naruto. So, wanna be a Titan? Asked BB. Me, really? Of course, you'll need more training. I know you have trouble controlling your powers, and we can help. Robin would have continued but Terra had dropped her communicator and rounded on BB. You told him. I didn't. You promised. You lied to me. You lied. Terra yelled as she ran out the door with BB following her. I guess she is sensitive about it. Naruto stated as he and Robin went to go talk with BB. I just figured it out, I didn't know it was a secret. Robin said sadly. She didn't even say goodbye. BB sighed. You know, it is not that hard to figure out, but I am sure she'll be back. And I hope she takes a look at that scroll too. At this the other two Titans looked at him confused. I saw the backpack and figured out she was leaving. So I put a scroll in the pack. It contains chakra control and some earth jutsu. I hope it works for her, BB said as they all looked out into the ocean. The Teen Titans had just gotten to the video rental store to see what was up. They had heard there was a weird commotion. When they got there, they saw a teenage brunette girl getting attacked by some possessed TV. That is when Cyborg blasted it with his sonic cannon. Well, if it isn't my old archenemies, the Teen Titans. Some fat guy said as he came up to them. Yeah, who is this guy? Asked BB. Naruto shrugged and felt an odd power coming from the guy's remote, at least that what he thinks it is called. The fat guy then used the remote and pressed a button, then all the TVs behind him put a projection of his introduction. I am the master of monsters. I am your darkest nightmares come to life, I am Control Freak. A couch potato with a supped-up remote, I am petrified, Raven drawled out. Not much to this guy is there? Naruto asked no on. In particular as he appeared next Raven. You will be, said the freak as he pressed another button and some gray mailbox-looking creature came up to the two. Possession. Naruto got out as him and Sai rushed it. Come on Foxfire, let's drop the Dropbox. Oh so that is what it is called, replied Naruto as he kicked it. While that was going on, the other Titans were trying to get remote but it seemed that the freak possessed more things. After Naruto thought that Sai had it, he went to go help his sister with the flying cash registers. After a while, Star took out one and Naruto took out the other with an exploding kunai. A little explosion of cash never hurt anyone. He then looked back toward Sai and sweat dropped. Evil candy, that is just weird. Robin had taken out some cardboard samurai. Starfire was fighting the TV thing again. BB was running from a cardboard cut of something called Wicked Scary, and Raven was dealing with possessed videos. Can this get any weirder? He said as he sent a supercharged blue star bolt at the TV to free Star so she would have a better chance. But it seemed that Control Freak noticed Naruto and sent a few more TVs at him. Take a look at this. Yeah, I am looking but all I am going to see in a bit is melted metal. Oh really? Yeah, fire style, Star fall. He raised his arms into the air and supercharged blue fire formed into a huge ball of energy and sent it at the possessed TV. There was a small explosion and the TVs were all half melted. Robin then used his boomerangs and cut the water system to make it rain and making the possessed well unpossessed and they all just fell and what fire there was gone. My remote. I can't live without my remote. The freak said as Robin took the remote and asked while grabbing the guy's shirt. Ever think you watch too much TV? This isn't over, you hear me? This isn't over. Yay it is man. Naruto said with a bored tone. Looks pretty over to me. Raven said. Guys, check it out. BB started as he went through the movies on the ground, movie night. He then took it to the cashier and started trying to find his rental card. Just take it. The girl said she handed it to his face. Okay. This place is weird, but at least there is never a dull moment, said Naruto. Back at the tower, BB had used the intercom to get Robin in the living room with the others. What's the problem? The problem is that it is show time and you're not in your seat. Even Naruto is here and he has no clue how this stuff works. BB said, you know, I have been learning and I can understand that. It is just the other stuff that goes over my head, the blonde said as Star told him they would learn together. While that was happening, Robin had a cheesed-off look on his face as he went to sit down. Cyborg, you are certain you do not desire to have unhealthy sugar candies? Asked Starfire. Make it go away, said a sick Sai. Naruto chuckled and said, evil candy not agreeing with a hero like you man. Before Sai could respond, BB interrupted. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the scariest night of your lives. Maybe Control Freak's monsters didn't scare you, but this movie is going to freak you out. He said as he appeared next to each Titan and ended up between Raven and Naruto. Whatever. That crap was just weird for me. BB's mouth fell off at this point. Then Robin and Starfire started blabbing about some hot dog documentary and Sai threw up. BB just went on about the movie being cursed and Naruto rolled his eyes while Raven told him start the movie. By the end of the movie, they all had freaked out looks on their faces. Is it over? Asked BB. I dare not open my eyes to find out. Star said. Now I am really sick to my stomach. Sai said. I've fought psychotic villains, robot commandos, and giant oozing monsters, but that is the scariest thing I have ever seen, said Robin, while Raven recovered and pretended nothing was wrong. Yeah, I just hope I don't have to run into that in the ninja world, said Naruto. After that they all looked at each other and just laughed. Did I tell you or did I tell you? Said BB looking proud. Thrilling Beast Boy, Star said. It was wonderfully horrible. They all talked about how scary it was, while Raven was again keeping to herself. So, Raven admit it. You were totally scared, BB said. I don't do fear. Whatever ya say Raven. That crap freaked out even me. Naruto said with a smirk. She just looked at him like he was stupid. After that they went to bed but it started raining. They all had to get up because they all heard some chick scream. They meet in the living room and Raven asked as she came in, who screamed. Sounded like it came from the movie. Did we leave the TV on? Asked Robin. We did not and the movie is right here. Said Star as she held the movie, but the lights went off for some reason. Okay, that's creepy. Sai said. The storm probably just tripped a circuit breaker. Said Robin as a tentacle went on his shoulder. Okay Beast Boy, you got us, good one. Dude. The green kid said from across the bird boy. They all looked to see that freaky green monster from the Moive. Oh crap. It came to life man. Said a freaked out Naruto as it attacked and they tried to counter. They tried everything they could against that thing but no good. Naruto noticed that. Raven tried to use her powers and couldn't and when she was knocked into a wall, it was gone. Okay, that could have been better. Naruto groaned as he tried to get out of the dog pile formed from the pile of titans when it disappeared. Someone's claws are on my grebnacks. Hey, my bad, said BB while Naruto glared at him. There was a monster here, right? Asked Sai. Where did it go? Asked Robin, looking around. And from where did it come? Star said getting up. Hello. BB said as he went on with a story that watching the movie opened a portal to another dimension and that it were at sea. Aim from and now it wanted to eat them all. Said Sai not buying it. Control Freak must have gotten into the tower and stole his remote and get his revenge. Star eeped while Raven said, that doesn't explain why my powers aren't working. They were then going to split up and search the tower, but BB freaked out. I have to admit, somewhat, to BB's theory. I do feel an odd but familiar power in the air. But something is up, said Naruto as the others looked at him. Let's just look around for now, see what is up. As they were searching that heard help me, coming from BB's room and when they found what it was. Well they were all pissed that Beast Boy had a toy to freak them out, plus a lot of clothes and stuff in the closet that fell on top of them. Ooh, look out y'all, big scary monkey. Sai laughed mockingly as they exited the room. Haha yeah Raven, you should have seen the look on your face, laughed BB. You mean this look? She said pissed off. No, that's more angry than scared. I already told you I don't get scared. Sometimes it is better to admit fear than to reject it, said Naruto only to get a glare from Raven. Then the monster thing came again. Like right now. The blonde said. Freaked out. Titans move, ordered Robin and they all started to run away. They almost fell down an elevator but they caught each other. When they got out of it, Starfire was the first to speak. The creature is gone, we are safe. Yeah, for now. I felt that odd power again, still freaky though, said Naruto. Okay, don't even try to tell me that didn't scare you. BB said as the tentacles came back and grabbed him. What I tell you. Funny guy goes first. Naruto and Robin ran after him but ended up at a door. Oh come on. It is like he was dragged into that power. Naruto managed to get out as Robin opened the door. Beast Boy he is, Star started. Gone. Said Raven and Naruto at the same time. What they came to was the evidence room. They looked arrowed until they came upon the remote and Robin said that he didn't think this was Control Freak. Well whoever this is doing this, they are not going to scare us. Raven said. Fear. That's it. The movie, the monsters, Raven's powers. The answer's right in front of us. If Control Freak isn't behind this then it has to be, he said but was cut off as he was dragged into the wall. Raven and Starfear. He tried to pull him out but were flicked back by the other tentacles, and Sai and Naruto went to try and pull him, but Robin's arm slipped from them. Robin! Sai yelled and then punched a hole in the wall to reveal nothing. I don't suppose any of you know what he was going to say. The others just shook their heads. They then tried looking through the entire tower for the two missing titans, maybe He ended up somewhere else in the tower, but Naruto doubted it. He could not feel their chakra anywhere. Only that odd chakra that was familiar for some reason. Raven said they should look in the basement. They opened the door to it and Raven and Naruto went in first, followed by the Sai and Star. When they were at the bottom of the stairs, Starfire said nobody was there and tried going back up, but Sai stopped her. Not yet. We have to get to the bottom of this. This unpleasant room is not the bottom. She asked. Don't worry, Star, I got your back if anything weird happens, said Naruto as he smiled, and she relaxed. Only a bit though. Come on, said Raven as they started walking around. Something ran past them and Star freaked out and tried blasting it. What is it? Asked Sai. The floor. I saw something. I didn't, commented Raven, and Naruto just shook his head. My vision scanners are not picking up anything either. Naruto looked at him and said, man, that is cool, but I guess it would not work for me. He really wanted the vision scanner stuff in his head, but he didn't want half his body gone. Right, let's keep moving. Something ran past Star again and she blasted it. Would you stop that already? It was probably just a few rats. Raven said, annoyed. Those are not rats, Star said, pointing behind the three. Lots of four-eyed rat things appeared and jumped at them. The titans started running now. Okay, this is getting freaky, Naruto shouted as he, Starfire, and Cyborg started shooting at them. They ran up the stairs, but Starfire had lagged behind and had got Ted surrounded by the little creatures, and they made a portal to swallow her up. Starfire! Naruto yelled as he ran to the spot where all the freaky rats were, and they diapered. No, said Sai as him and Raven came up behind Naruto. Naruto got pissed off and used his alien strength and punched the ground so hard it made a large dent in some of the floor to come up. Damn it. It's bad enough we lost Beast Boy and Robin, but now Starfire. Come on, we need to find out what is doing this and put a stop it now, he said as he started going up the stairs and the other two quickly behind him. Once they got back up, Sai offered some nice advice. We'll get through this all right, don't be scared. For the last time, I am not afraid, Raven said as she and Naruto walked past Cyborg. Then for some reason, his light was gone. Cyborg, I could use a little more light. Cyborg, she said as they turned around to find nothing there. Then some dark bird-like creature came out of nowhere and came after them. They were chased all the way into an elevator, and for some reason it was working with no power. No. Black water started to rise until the doors opened and they both fell out of the elevator all wet. You know, this is getting weirder and weirder, Naruto panted as he tried getting his breath back. He then noticed that they were back in the living room. Then that green tentacle creature came out of one doors and all those weird rats came out of the other. Give them back, yelled Naruto as the creatures tried to get them and he attacked it. Oh, this is so annoying. Wait a sec. I get it now. The reason this odd chakra is so familiar. The movie was scary for Raven. Her powers don't work because they are turning against her because she won't admit her fears. What a twist, he thought while fighting the monster while Raven was dealing with the weird rats. That cost him though. A tentacle came and whacked him into the wall. Naruto! Raven yelled, and rats went after him instead. Naruto didn't even try and get up. He just looked at her and smiled. When they were starting to cover him, he said, I believe in you. Don't worry, I am sure you'll figure it out. With that he was gone and they were coming back to her. No, she said as she backed up all the way to the windows. Then the windows themselves turned into some huge rat. She was surrounded. Stay back, you don't scare me. She then began her I am not afraid mantra. She then realized that she was afraid. I am afraid, but that doesn't mean I can't fight back. You were right, I would figure it out. She got her powers back and say up into the air as the creatures started backing away. Azareth Metrian Zinthos. Her power flew in all directions and made all the creature be absorbed by it, and then it went into the night sky and cried out before disappearing and her losing consciousness. 4x. A black void. That was all Naruto could see around him. He could feel the presence of his friends here and even Raven's powers. He why wondered if he was the only one aware of what was going on. Only you can hear me, Demon King, a voice sneered out as two sets of red eyes appeared. Who is there? The one who will challenge you for the right of the title of Demon King. A pathetic human or alien such as you does not deserve it. How you got it from the Kyuubi is beyond my imagination. Okay, so you pissed off, but who are you? You will know in due time. But for now, my gem is waking and our time here is at an end, till we meet, boy. 4x. A few minutes later, everything was back to normal. Raven opened her eyes to see everyone. Raven, said Robin as Naruto helped her up. You're all okay. We were never in any danger. Robin said. Say what? Sai said. Did you not see the monsters? BB yelled. We saw them, but they were never really there. Raven was afraid. But when she wouldn't talk about it, the fear found another way out. Her power. Star said. Yeah, think of it as one scary-ass genjutsu. Naruto smirked. That is why I felt the familiar power all over the place. Once you accepted your fear, you regained control over it. Robin finished. You mean Raven made all those creepy crawlies by accident? BB asked. Sorry. She said sheepishly as the sun came. Sunrise, time for bed. Sai yawned out as he walked away. You know, your haunted house was way creepier than that stupid movie. Any chance you wanna do all this again for Halloween? BB asked. I'm afraid not. She droned out. I might be able to help with that, just gotta get better at genjutsu than I am now. I am also going to find out what Halloween even is, said Naruto as the other two in the room face vaulted. As they all walking to their rooms for sleep, Naruto could not help but wonder who was talking to them. A few days later, Robin was on his motorcycle trying to find some villain while Raven and Cyborg were in the T-car and BB, Starfire, and Naruto were flying around looking for it. Range to target, the boy wonder asked. 500 and closing, should have a visual in a minute. Sai said. There he is. Star yelled out. Correction. There it is. Raven said. Where do all these things come from? Some radioactive land, sheesh. Commented Naruto. As they caught up to the spider-headed dude, but the guy had a gun and shot it to separate the titans. They gave chase to him but he was sending those super loogies at them and Sai almost crashed the T-car. Robin managed to get really close to the guy but he shot a weird beam at Robin and he was petrified and he was falling. Starfire and Foxfire managed to catch him. Getting away. We have to go after him. Robin managed to get out. You mean we have to go after him? You need to recover. Sai said. But, dude, the guy's got a spider for a head, shouldn't be that hard to find. BB said. With that the group split up with BB, Raven, and Cyborg going after the guy and Naruto, Starfire, and Robin going home. When they got there, Starfire started to twist Robin in very painful looking ways. Better. Oh, much thanks, he said. I welcome you. There are few problems that Tamaranian acupressure cannot solve. Man, I really need to learn more about Tamarin. I am the dumbest Tamaranian out there. Do not worry brother. You will learn in time. Hope so. Yeah, but now we can focus solving our other problem, said Robin as he took out his communicator and said, Titans. Any luck on finding our jewel thief? We found something worse, Raven said and they all looked in the communicator and paled. Oh crap. Naruto got out as they looked at all the weird moths. They fought for a while but it seemed that a whole swarm of them seemed to be coming over the horizon. Oh, we are going to need backup. Cyborg said. We're on our way, Robin said as the three of them started to run off to help. Don't bother, said some freaky moth-like guy as their TV showed him. Even if you defeat a few of my children, you won't be able to stop me from releasing the entire swarm. He said as the background showed them. There are more of those things. Naruto yelled. Yes, unless you want your city turned into a moth-eaten wasteland. You will do exactly as I say. What do you want? Robin said through gritted teeth. My demands are simple. The city will declare me ruler, the Teen Titans will surrender, and Robin. You will take this lovely young lady to her junior prom. The Mothman said as a screen showed a blonde-haired, loud-mouthed chick. Hi Robipu, she screeched as Naruto could not help but fall on the ground laughing. What was that last part again? Robin, who is this girl and why does she call you Pooh? Asked Starfire, which only made Naruto laugh a lot louder. This was one Earth thing he did know but his sister didn't. Her name is Kitten and you will take her to prom. The moth freak yelled. This prom is some manner of duel, yes. Robin eagerly accepts. No. Ha 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 ha. Star. It is not a duel. Aha ha ha ha. Oh. Naruto said as he tried to stop laughing to tell her. He is right Star, it is a date. Robin said. Eeeeeh. He does not accept. Do you hear? Robin does not accept. Starfire yelled as Robin got her out of the room while Naruto stayed in the room. Oh wow, didn't know that. Naruto said aloud. Of course I would not be able to poke fun because she might not understand. Oh well, man that was a good laugh. While he thought that, he even heard Star rambling about in the hallway. He turned back to the screen. Well that was funny and all but does Bird Boy really have to do this? Yes. Wait who are you? Asked Killer Moth. Daddy. He is that new hot titan. Foxfire. Said Kitten then thought about it for a sec. Hot. Oh this can't be good, thought Naruto as Robin and Starfire came back into the room. Do we have a deal? Asked the moth. I'll take the girl to prom. Robin said. Wait, said Kitten loudly and Naruto wondered if she was related to Sakura. I want both Robin and Foxfire to take me to prom. Everyone froze at that. Say what? Both Robin and Naruto at the same time. Starfire just seethed with green fire lighting up her hair. Okay, but don't tell me, you both have to ask her yourselves. Oh shit, you have gotta be kidding me. Said Robin. Do it. Fine. Kitten was it. She answered with a meow and Robin's eyes were twitching like crazy. Will you go to the prom with me? Now you boy. I should have just stayed out of sight man. Sai will you also go with me to this prom thing? Naruto said and Starfire couldn't handle it anymore and she burst into flames. Oh Robipu and Foxy. I'd thought you would never ask. She shouted out. I wouldn't have if I had a choice in the matter. Both boys thought. Back with the others. They were having a lot of problems. There are too many. We not going to, Cyborg said but suddenly the mobs were gone. Make it. Raven opened her communicator and the two boys came up behind her to look over her shoulder. We bought you some time. Said Robin as he explained what to do next and to search Kitten's place. Starfire will join you. Hey what about you and Foxfire? Asked BB. Sigh we can't, we have to take this, Kitten, to her prom. At this they all had shocked looks on their faces, but in Raven's case, a slight twitching of the eye. I really should have just kept out of sight. They heard him yell. Don't worry guys. I am sending some Titan clones as backup. A few hours later Robin and Naruto were by some boat in their tuxes. This thing is so tight, they are so not for battle. I know what. You mean Foxfire but this the clothing we have to wear to this prom. I am so glad I became a ninja, civilian clothes and schools are weird. Naruto complained. I am really hoping she does not show, Robin said which Naruto agreed. But they were tapped on their shoulders and they prepared for the worst. Turning around they saw. Starfire, Raven. They both got out. Starfire was in a glittery pink dress and Raven was in a blue dress. Raven owns a dress. I thought all she wore was that black thing and the blue cloak. Naruto thought loudly while Robin was having his own thoughts about Starfire. On such occasions, I think it is customary to wear a dead plant. Starfire said as she put them on Robin and Naruto. Okay, this is getting weirder by the minute. Naruto deadpanned. Aren't you Wo supposed help the others hunt down Killer Moth? Asked Robin. Your orders were to investigate the girl. I intend to investigate her thoroughly. Besides you may required saving. She said. I will do the same. Besides, Foxfire made like 4 clones to help the other 2, said Raven. Thought that was enough. Titan clones. Naruto said as Robin looked at him. Yes and this kitten could be some form of ooze monster in disguise. She is certainly ugly like one, yes. She said as Raven listened to what Naruto was saying as well. Don't know about that but she must be related to the pink-haired banshee back home. She really screeches like one. He said as Raven smirked but before anyone could say anything more, there was a honk and Kitten's huge pink limo came up. Oh brother, I get it now, she's a spoiled little rich girl. Naruto groaned. Kitten came out in a pale pink dress and waved to 2 boys over to her yelling, UWHO. Robipu. Foxy. Your kitten has arrived. Meow. They both smacked their heads while Naruto said, yeah, they are either related or she is her alternate reality self, except this on does not hate me. Yeah, on second thought, maybe I will need saving, said Robin while Naruto agreed with him. When they walked away, Raven and Starfire had pissed off looks on their faces. When they got over to her, she started screeching some more. Oh Robin and Foxfire. My dates. Oh don't you two look handsome. She whispered. Compliment me on my dress. No, no way. The boys said. Do it or else. Nice dress, what a pink dress, the boys said rudely. Oh boys. You're such gentalmen. Not at all like my worthless ex-boyfriend Fang. She yelled out so everyone could hear. Now, take my arms and let me in. Oh would it kill you two to smile. Robin crack a FICO looking. Smile and Naruto swore heard the guy's face crack. Naruto did one of his fake fox smiles. Maybe. Once they were in, Star slowed screeched up to the front of the pink limo and punched it, making the back half go up. Raven was so pissed at this girl that her emotions blew up the back half of the limo. Many people ran in or backed away very slowly. Inside the dance floor, the three had taken a seat at a table. With Robin rocking back and forth on his chair, Naruto was banging his head on the table, and Kitten had a pissed off look on her face. One of you, asked me to dance. I don't dance. Robin got out. I would rather not. Naruto nervously said as he brought his head up. Come Foxy. Dance with me. No thanks. Fine. Then I can have the whole city destroyed, or we can go straight to the kissing. She said. Naruto paled and said real quickly, no kissing, let's dance. With that they were in the middle of the dance floor. Oh Foxfire. I would love to dance you. She yelled as she flung in around while dancing. Never again man. I will never do this shit again. Oh, I am going to be sick. Naruto thought. Raven's emotions made a few balloons and a nearby table explode and Starfy. Ri had a pissed off look that this chick was not good enough for her brother. The song ended and Naruto tried to get away but another slow song came and she got him back. Aw man, all this spinning is making me sick. From now on Foxy. This will be our song. She said and Naruto gave Robin a pleading look that said, get me the hell away from this chick. Robin nodded and opened his communicator and said, please tell me you guys have found something. Foxfire and I can't handle this anymore. Well we went to your girlfriend's home address but we can't find anything and the clones are just arguing now. The hologram jumped out at Sai and yelled, she is not my girlfriend. At that same moment, BB found a secret entrance and Sai said that he will keep him posted. A few minutes later, Sai, BB, and the Naruto clones reported that they found Killer Moth's hideout and Robin nodded to Naruto. It is about time, damn it. Naruto decided to be civil and asked, so, did you ask the two of us for a reason? There is a reason, but I don't think you would understand. Kitten replied quietly. Trust me. Naruto shrugged. Well, I am trying to get my ex-boyfriend jealous by talking to the two of you. Wait a sec, what is with the mood change? Quote, well, you can be all that bad if you're doing this for that reason. I am assuming you are still in the love with the guy. At Kitten's nod, he continued. How about we make a little scene here? Get his blood pumping then. He suggested. Kitten looked at Naruto with a smirk and said, kiss me. Sorry, no can do. I don't like you that way, wait I don't like you at all. Naruto said out loud and Raven breathed a sigh of relief whilst Fire thought, way to go brother. She also made the yes sign. What? Yeah you got a problem with that rich girl. Besides, I got word that the Mothman is being taken down as we speak. So we are done here chickie. Naruto said as he started walking away. No we are not. Daddy's not calling the shots tonight Foxy. I am, she said as she took out a device. Daddy, all the titans present said. And unless you want me to let those nasty boys out for a nighttime snack, she said as she grabbed Naruto by the collar and yelled, you better pucker up you hottie. With that she started trying to kiss him. Raven was so shocked and pissed and the table she was at blow up and some of the ground as well. Starfire just had a look of pure shock on her face. Oh I did not see that one coming, oh well. Good thing I am a ninja, he. Naruto thought as he did the switch jutsu and switched with a clone he had secretly made. The clone did not look happy, but shrugged and planted a kiss on the blonde girl, shocking a lot of people, including the original, who was next to a gaping Robin. This will not end well for me. Starfire's hair was on fire again. While there was a sizable dent in the ground around Raven and the ground seemed to have black fire on it. Robin had a look of pure shock on his face. Kitten was blushing up a storm, but seemed to like it. She opened her eyes to see a very pissed-off boyfriend. "Oh Fang," she suddenly said as Spider-Head came and crashed the party. "That is your boyfriend," Robin said. The original Naruto was pale. "Ah, I indirectly kissed that. Oh my god. Get your hands off my girl, you losers," the guy said as he chucked a cup at the fake Naruto, who went up in smoke, making a lot of people widen their eyes. The girls looked like fish as they had never thought it was a clone and then sighed in relief, until Spider-Head rushed Naruto and Robin. With that they started an odd fight, where the spider would use its legs to fight the two. Then a starbolt covered in black energy hit Spider Freak. "Get your legs off my boy," the girls yelled. "You okay?" asked Raven Naruto while Star was asking Robin if he was okay. "Yeah, but at least I get to fight today. Unfortunately, I get the memories of my shadow clone," he said as he ripped off his tux to reveal T-shirt and boxes. Raven, Star, and Robin couldn't help but laugh. "Oh yeah, I forgot to put clothes underneath this thing, oh well, henge." With that he was hanged into his normal clothes. "Good enough for now, though I still feel a draft." They looked to see Kitten kissing Fang. Naruto almost barfed while Robin said that they looked like a bad couple. So with that fought for a bit, and when Naruto had had enough of this crap he did a jutsu. He took out his sword and yelled out, "Soul Seal 4." The blade then split in 5 hooked blades and started sucking out the energy of the spider. "Hey, looks like the rain came and washed the spider out, man." With that they had Kitten and Fang go to jail, with Kitten bitched about getting back at them. BB wanted to keep the larva moth things as pets, but Raven said to not even think about it. They were standing on the dance floor when a voice came on the intercom. "And now the moment you have all been waiting for, the king and queen of this year's prom is Robin and Starfire. I guess one dance wouldn't kill me," Robin said as he took Starfire head and danced with her. Naruto smirked as he watched them. Robin was probably the only person he could trust with his sister. He sighed and looked at Raven. "Don't want that dress to go to waste, wanna dance?" Raven looked at him for a minute, remembering what his clone has done for the original. She smiled some and nodded. "I guess. Dancing isn't bad when you dancing with the right person." Well, almost everything was calm. For the past day, Beast Boy had gotten Naruto to join in on the prank wars that was mostly between him and Cyborg. Let's just say it wasn't pretty. The reason Naruto was yelling now was because of squirrels in his pants. Naruto burst into the living room with a pissed-off look on his face that BB could not because he was shrinking down into the couch. Robin smirked. BB had finally met his match. Cyborg was trying to keep his mouth shut, but he could not help but chuckle. Raven was not in the room at tea. He moaned, but she heard him yell and knew the green bean was in for it, and Starfire was just curious as to what was going on. Naruto stalked right up to Beast Boy and he had a crazy smirk on his face. He took the squirrel out of his own shirt and put it in BB's. The result? Beast Boy running around the room like a chicken with its head cut off and screaming. "I am not done. Shadow Squirrel's jutsu." At this, the green boy's clothes bulged and now he was screaming even more. Naruto and the others were on the floor because they couldn't stop laugh at the insanity of it all. The siren went off and Robin said to move out. It was some freak by the name of Dr. Light. When they got there they saw Dr. Light. He was on a turned-over gold truck. "Your pathetic skills can't outshine the brilliance of Light," Dr. Light proclaimed as he shot a beam of light at the Titans. Robin quickly made his way to Light, but he jumped out of the way and said, "You're fast, but I doubt you will enjoy moving at the speed of light." He then opened his chest plate and huge beam of light blasted Robin over a building. Beast Boy then came and turned into a wolf, charging at Drive. Light. "A wolf is no threat when it is blind as a bat," he said as he threw light bombs at BB. Starfire tried to get him, but he threw some sort of device that trapped her. Cyborg then charged at him with the tire and the pole that connects it. Watched it lightweight. Things are about to get heavy. He then swung it at Light, but it missed and Light shot a few weird light balls that hit the car behind him and it melted around him and he was trapped. "Hey, let me. Now. If nobody minds, I'll be taking the gold. Yo, we still got a crack at Cha. Naruto said as him and Raven walked up to him. Naruto then shot forward and shot a few blue star bolts at Light. Oh, why so blue? You should lighten up. The doc said. Aw, shut up. How about I knock your lights out? Yelled Naruto as he shot a beam that landed right in front Light and blow him into a wall. Light retaliated with the chest beam that sent Naruto back into a building. Now I shall be going. I think not. Raven said. Azareth Metrian Zinthos. She said as she tried to her power against the Light, but the doc used his light to knock Raven away. Word of advice, find shorter magic words. That would have been good, but a motorcycle was thrown at him without the words, which he shot with his light and destroyed it. He also used the light to blast her away. Don't come any closer. What's the matter? Afraid of the light? This seemed to piss off Raven, and she's hot up with lots of darkness tentacles to drag the doc into the darkness. My suit. No. Top, you win. I surrender. With evil red eyes and a demonic voice, she said, what's the matter? Afraid of the dark? Robin then came running with Naruto and they yelled at her to stop. She then turned back to normal and it also revealed Drive. Light pretty shaken. Dude, Raven, what did you do? Asked BB as he came up to her. She went all crazy on him and then left in the shadows. Something is up with her emotions. I wonder what is up though, thought Naruto. The next day, Raise and shine amigos. Breakfast is served, BB said as he was cooking tofu. As he set the food down, Robin said, thanks Beast Boy, everything looks great. On my planet, such a feast would mark a marriage. Tell me Beast Boy, to whom are you engaged? Asked Sapphire. At this BB freaked out and Naruto sprayed his orange juice out of his mouth and began to laugh. Star, this Earth, he was just being friendly. Besides, I always ate like that back in Konoha. Hey, I must be engaged 100 times over. Naruto laughed with the others. I do not understand, brother. Who are you married to already? At this Naruto banged his head against the table and said. It was a joke, Star, sheesh. While that was going on, Cyborg engorged himself with the food but spit it out and was yelling about the food being tofu. Naruto tried some of the tofu and he started to feel weird. When Cyborg was done complaining, Raven came in. Hey Raven, want breakfast? Asked Robin. It's good. Wakey wakey tofu, eggs and basi. BB sung. Herbal tea, was her statement. Come on, just one little taste. You could use a little food after you cook. Drive. Light. No. She yelled with red eyes. The tofu blew up as well. Maybe you should go apologize. Robin said. Me. I am not the one who turned breakfast into a battlefield. Yeah, but after the weirdness that went down last night, you should know better than to go messin' with her, said Cyborg as he passed him. I was trying to be nice. But no matter how hard I try, she still treats me like tofu eggs. Said BB. You know she never once laughed at any of my jokes. Lest she listens, I kinda just tune you out. Said Cyborg as he was washing dishes. Friend, Raven is complicated, there is much about her we are not meant to understand. Starfire said. Then how are we supposed to deal with her? How can we even trust her, I mean? Said BB. She's our friend, what more do we need to know? Asked Robin. Yeah, just go to her, man, groaned Naruto while his head was on the table. Dude, what is wrong with you? Asked BB. No offense Beast Boy, but your tofu sucks. Naruto said with a green face and huge dilated eyes. Oh, wait, Starfire is usually okay with tofu, said a confused BB. I am different, remember. I am not used to eating weird things. You always had a taste for a variety of different things. There were some things that you just didn't like. When that happened, you had a weird reaction. Star said with a shiver. Oh joy, Naruto deadpanned. An hour later, Naruto and Cyborg saw Beast Boy in front of Raven's door and they knew he was going to chicken out, so they went to help him out. He knocked, if you could call that a knock, and said, oh well, nobody's home. BB then walked into Cyborg. Ya might want to knock a little louder. The metal man said as he pushed BB back to the door and knocked himself. The door fell from him knocking. Oh way to go, man. Naruto said sarcastically but a little sickly. Now we both have to apologize. Beast Boy stated the obvious. They took a look in her room and it was a little weird. Not going to describe it, watch episode 6 to find out. Ah, Raven, said Cyborg. Sorry about the door. Raven, dude, she is not here, let's go. BBS. Ate as he walked into the room and started walking around. Looks like Halloween came early this year. We're in Raven's room. We should not be in here. She doesn't let anybody in here, ever. Well, we are in here, stated Naruto with a bored and sick look. So, this is our big chance to learn more about her. BB said as he looked at her dresser. For instance, check out this beauty mirror. Who would have thought she would spend time sprucing? Well, she is a girl, maybe she wants to look pretty. Naruto said, which got an odd look from Beast Boy. What? Never mind, is that is it? B said, and that is when the mirror showed 4 red eyes and a black red hand shot out of it and it grabbed Beast Boy. Oh man, Cyborg. What, we should really get out, huh? Said Sai as he saw the hand, and he and Naruto rushed to get BB free. Unfortunately, they all got sucked into the small mirror. Through the passage to the world of the mirror is when things started to go crazy for Naruto. He looked around at all the different colors, for they formed something. Muffins. He suddenly shouted, the other two screaming for dear life. They landed on a floating rock in the middle of what looked like space, but the stars looked red. Where are we? Asked BB. You're asking the wrong robot, my scanner say we are in Titan's tower. I don't sense da birdie or big sis anywhere, I wonder where we are. Naruto said like a kid. Right, so how do we get back? Asked BB, wondering what was up with Naruto. Guess we start walking, said Cyborg, ignoring Naruto's odd behavior at the moment. Come on, I'm serious. We're on a rock in the middle of the green bean was cut off as rocks formed a path. Oh how convenient, said a little to happy Naruto, and with that they began to walk with Cyborg and Beast Boy arguing, and Naruto was acting loopy. They heard Black Bird saying to turn back. BB went up to them and they started attacking. Beast Boy went shifting to animals, Cyborg used his sonic cannon. And Naruto, well, he was dancing and they were missing him. What the? Is this the reaction Star was talking about? Asked Cyborg but didn't get an answer. In all his wisdom, Sai shot the ground when one of the birds was under him and Llama Beast Boy. They were hanging for dear life while Naruto was still dancing, but the other side of the walkway. Hey guys, what's up? Said Raven with a pink cloak. I don't know anymore, Cyborg said weakly, and with that the world flipped and Beast Boy fell on Cyborg and Raven started laughing. Raven, how did wear what just? Why are you wearing pink? Asked BB. Raven laughed and said, "'Cause it's my favorite color." BB looked at her oddly and said, "It is. Look, I'd love to talk fashion but I don't suppose you know the way home." Said Cyborg. The forbidden door, it's the only way out. But you don't want to go there, not now. She said. Yeah we do, said BB and Sai at the same time. Ooh, a walkway, said Naruto in his daze. Don't say I didn't warn ya. She said as her and Naruto acted like a plane going into the portal. How you ever seen her this happy? Dude, I didn't know Raven could do happy, and what is with Naruto? My tofu is not that bad, shouted Beast Boy as they went through the portal. Yeah it is, said Cyborg but stopped in his tracks as he saw what looked like a kid's dreamscape. Now where are we? I think is might be where air freshener come from, BB said as a strawberry floated by. Naruto came up under it before acting like Jaws and eating it and looking around with wide eyes. No, we are in the land of gumdrops and ice cream. The beetles would love this place. Woo, Naruto said as he ran around trying to eat a tree. They heard Raven laugh at BB joke and then at Naruto's odd antics. Good one, you're laughing, started Cyborg. At one of my jokes. Sure, I've always thought you were funny BB, but hey, looks aren't everything. She then started laughing again. She then added, and Naruto is funny and cute. The tofu musta really messed him up. Naruto appeared in front of them with a boom box that started playing something in Japanese. However, that was not what weirded out BB and Sai. Did was the weird ass dance that Naruto started, with Pink Raven joining in. Sai's eyes twitched. What the hell is this? He asked, turning to BB who was pale. Okay, no more tofu for Naruto, BB said calmly before freaking out. They are doing the caramel dancing. Cyborg groaned and BB shivered before they looked back to the duo, only find that Pink Raven was gone. She ditched us. I can't believe Raven ditched us. Next time I see her it is not going to pretty. BB freaked out as they endured a few more minutes of the dance Naruto was doing on his own with a creepy smile. When it finally stopped, they passed another portal and they saw the creepy landscape again. Ah, no more land of gumdrops and ice cream, said Naruto as he ate another strawberry, making the other two sweat drop. Wait, I know where we are. We're in that place where we didn't know where we were before. Cyborg said. Raven the popped up out of nowhere with a gray cloak, scaring the crap out of them. Where were you? Shopping for robes. Beast Boy yelled. Raven got smaller and was crying. When BB was done apologizing to her, Naruto walked up to her. Ah, come here. Did da mean green one scare you? He said that as in odd voice and he also gave her a hug before she blushed a bit. BB just looked at them like they were crazy. Hey, that is that forbidden door, right Raven? Asked Cyborg, to which she nodded. Come y'all we're almost ah. Cyborg started but stopped at walls appeared. BB tried to take to the skies but got shocked. Naruto thought it was cool and walked up the wall and started shocking himself and laughing like a maniac. It's maze. You can't get out, you have to go through. Raven said while sweat dropping at the blonde. I can show you the way, but when we reach the end, you won't like me anymore. He already doesn't like me, she said indicating Beast Boy. Come on, that's not, he didn't get to finish because she was already ahead of them. Naruto fell down before looked at her retreating and said in his dazed voice. I don't hate you. Come on y'all, let's go. Cyborg said. When they reached the end, they were kind of cheesed off because Raven had been apologizing to BB and Sai the whole time about various things. When they got to the end, the wall opened up to reveal two huge statues and a path to another area. Sweet, said BB. All right Raven, said Cyborg. Thanks Ray, said Naruto. Oh, and he passed her with a hand on his head. My hair is really spiky, he randomly said with a grin as he plucked out a few hairs and watched them fly away with a far-off look. He is scaring me, BB whispered to Sai, who nodded as well. They walked toward the statues which came to life, combined and started attacking. Hi Two-Face, Naruto suddenly said as he did a matrix to dodge the swords of the statues. They all attacked it but it was too strong for some reason. Hey Eight Eyes, came the voice of Raven as she kicked it in the face and it fell. Woohoo, in your faces. This Raven was Gr. Cloaked and she used 2 fingers to slice it down the middle. Naruto looked from Raven and then to his own fingers and smirked, 1,000 years of death. He called out with rapidly poking the air. They all looked at him like he was crazy. Of course, for some reason, Green Raven thought it was funny. Beast Boy got out of his stupor and said, what is your deal? First you nuke breakfast, then finally laugh at my jokes. Then you're all weepy, and now you're a marine. Make up your mind. Who are you? It was then all 3 ravens they met came and said, I'm Raven. Beast Boy fainted and Naruto said, ooh. 3 ravens. Cyborg scratched his head and said as he pointed to each one. Happy, timid, brave. You forgot dopey. Laughed the pink one at Beast Boy. Different sides of ravens personally, we're not in Raven's home. Cyborg said, we're in her mind. Beast Boy and Naruto said. And I want you out. Said the real Raven and she appeared and the others disappeared. The mirror you found was for meditation. It is a portal into my mind, not a toy. She got it Beast Boy. Haha my bad. Beast Boy said. This mind is fun, but mine is a sewer. Can I stay here mommy? Naruto said as he was suddenly chibified. Making Raven look at him strangely, but before she could answer him, they were distracted by the evil birds flying around again. You have to go, now. Said Raven as she explained that something got loose the other night and it was bad. Oh no you don't. I am tired of this mystery girl routine. I wanna know what exactly we are dealing with here. Beast Boy said, but Hey heard a roar and her anger emotion morphed into her father, Trigon. Big red man. Naruto shouted with awe before his eyes sparkled and he had a net in his hand and was in a bathtub. Sandy Claus. Ignoring Naruto for the moment. Sai asked warily, who's that? Let's just say I have some issues with my father. She said. Beast Boy and Cyborg ran for it while Raven and Naruto got blasted by it 4 eye beams. They then got blasted before they could reach the exit. You're not Sandy Claus, you meanie. Naruto shouted with tears in his eyes before had took on a thoughtful expression. A red Oogie Bogey. When he was about to blast them again, Raven put up a barrier blocking it. Get out of my mind, now, she said as he was protecting them. And leave you alone with that, said Beast Boy. Not going to happen, Cyborg said. Red Oogie Bogey must pay for making Ravi sad. Naruto smirked while he was suddenly in a yellow zoot suit with a feathered hat. Smokin', it is not your problem. If I lose you will be stuck in here forever, she said as the barrier was fading, while also trying not to laugh at Naruto. It's party time, said Naruto with an insane smirk. Raven had a hidden smile. But she used her powers to thrust them away and went to fight it herself. She got blasted and it caught her. Rage shall consume you. Yo, yelled Cyborg. Looks like somebody needs a timeout. With that he blasted it himself a few times and the red guy dropped her and Beast Boy caught her in his bird form. The red guy then fell off the cliff. You stayed. Thought you didn't like me. She said. Thought you didn't like me. BB said. Yo, I like both of you, now get your butts over here, said Cyborg as he was now fighting the red guy again. Feel my fury, he yelled. Well, big, tall and ugly. Now you have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Naruto called out coolly before out of his sleeves came a lot and lots of guns. Do ya, punk? The rage emotion just growled at him and from cocking its fist back. Oh, wrong move. Phoenix Blaze. He yelled out insanely as all the bullets came out of the guns except a few. Those that didn't had bang signs. Now, the bullets went ablaze, forming a giant phoenix that rammed into Rage. However, it growled and backhanded the blonde a long ways away from the battle, the blonde laughing all the way. Okay, his illness was working for us for a bit, BB pointed out while the others got out of their shock. He's too strong. Even with your help I cannot defeat him, Raven said. So call for backup. What about all those other yous? Said Cyborg. Yeah, the green one kind kicked butt, BB said. Those are her emotions, they that could work. One emotion is no match against all the other emotion, said Psy. Yeah, but use them together. Why would be picked off like we were if you used them one at a time? Go for it, we got your back, Cyborg said as he ran off to attack it with BB. Good luck, Ray, Naruto said with a hand on her shoulder. As he appeared next to her with a weird smile. He then left to help the other two. She blushed a bit and then began to call the others. However, she did notice that he was wearing aviator clothes now, and left on a yellow moped called a Vespa. BB and Psy stopped when they heard a horn and looked back. They saw Naruto on the Vespa with an insane smirk on his face while holding a blue bass guitar. Do I want to know? Psy deadpanned. Now way. Fooly cooly reference, BB commented. Rage saw the blonde and raised an eyebrow as he saw the ground shift up a bit, like a ramp. The Vespa went at full speed and flew off the ramp. Naruto smirked with wide eyes as he stood up and put a foot on the handlebars. He then held the base like a bat and when he got close enough he swung it while yelling out, "Batter up." The force of the odd swing knocked over Rage, giving Raven more time and making BB laugh hysterically. While Naruto and the others were fighting the big guy, Raven appeared in a white cloak and she was as tall as her father. Wow, was all Naruto could say as they had an energy battle. In the end, Raven won and the anger self went back into her, which made her turn back to normal. She felt a little weak and the three boys caught her. Thank you, friends, she said. So we really are friends? Asked BB hopefully, to which she nodded. And you really think I am funny? Don't push it. Yay, you beat the red Oogie Bogey, Naruto said as he put his arms around them. Cyborg noticed that she blushed a little at that and could not help but chuckle. They went through the portal, and he Ard Robin and Starfire on the other side. However, they heard Naruto groan a bit. Man, what happened? I remember being sucked into mirror, but that is all, and now I am back in Raven's room, he stated while looking around the room. The three titans looking at him in shock. Dude, you mean you don't remember what happened to you in Raven's mind? No, Naruto replied with a blank look. Let's just say you are not to eat tofu ever again, Cyborg said, before they heard Robin trying to stop Starfire from opening the door. They opened the door to see a funny sight. Robin was trying in pre-TTY much failing to keep Starfire from knocking on the door. "Where have you all been?" asked Robin as he recovered from his fall. "Just getting to know each other," Cyborg said. "Come friends, we shall prepare a new breakfast feast," Starfire said. "It is a little late for breakfast, Star," said BB, "maybe just some herbal tea." "Actually, breakfast sounds nice." Beast Boy smiled and said, "Breakfast for dinner, coming up." "Oh no, I'm cooking this time, we're having real eggs," said Cyborg, as he went after them. "I am with Cyborg on this one. No more tofu," said Naruto out of the blue. "Right, we don't need you turning into Haruko again and kicking our butt with a bass guitar," BB called out. "Say Naruto, you look better," Robin commented. "Yeah, I am remembering some of it. I went loopy," chuckled Naruto. "Ah yes, you were like that when you ate something that did not agree with you, brother." "I was quite scared," Star said as she gave him a big hug. During dinner, Naruto suddenly stopped eating, because he thought he heard Sakura and a few other people were yelling. He even felt an odd pulse. Raven had noticed that his body shimmered a little. After he was done eating he went up to the roof to watch the sunset and think. He sat on the ledge and thought, "Great, I'm starting to return, well my mind anyway." He then noticed that Raven was nearby and said, "You know, you can't hide from me." "I see," she said as she appeared next to him and sat down next to him. "Thanks for helping back in my mind." "It is no problem, you're a friend of mine." Naruto smiled, which made Raven blush a little. "I am glad you came with them, even though you were a little kooky," said Raven, to which Naruto chuckled. "Here," she said as she handed him an old-looking scroll. What's this?" asked Naruto. "I noticed you used a phoenix in our battle, and I found that I had a summoning contract for it in my room. I hope you can make use of it." "Hey, thanks Ray," he said, and they were quiet for a bit. BB, Cyborg, Robin, and Starfire were in the shadows, watching with smirks on their faces. They both turned to each other and were about to talk but noticed that the other was going to say something and Naruto let her talk. "So what was that at dinner?" "Hey, seems I am going back soon, well my mind anyway. I heard one of my teammates in a fight with some other people, probably the team from Sound." "Oh," she said a little sadly. "Yeah, I'd rather stay with all of you, know you're all great friend and all, but I have to get back," Naruto said. He noticed that Raven looked a little sad at that. He smiled sadly before bring up his hand between them, sort of like a V. She seemed to understand and took his hand. "Don't worry Raven, if you or the peanut gallery ever need my help, I'll be there as soon as I can, and that is a promise," he said as he heard gasps from the said peanut gallery. Raven smiled and thanked him. "And you know, we gotta stick together after all. I leave Starfire all alone again, and same with you. I am the Demon King thanks to Kyuubi," he said with a wink, making Raven widen her eyes and blush. She then noticed him fading away and made a split-second decision. She leaned forward and kissed him on the cheek, shocking the boy. "I'll be waiting," she said, and with that, the boy was gone. Naruto awoke to see that Sakura was on the ground with her hair cut in. D was looking towards Sasuke, who was popping out the arms of the sound ninja named Zaku. Shikamaru's team had heard him wake up and looked in his direction. Naruto yawned and said, "Aw man, what I miss." At this everyone in the area sweat dropped, included the curse-marked Sasuke, who was starting to power down at the sheer stupidity. Dosu noticed this and rushed in to attack Sasuke while he was distracted. Seeing this, Naruto rushed the sound nin and sent a supercharged blue star ball into his gut, sending him through a tree. "Don't even think about it, mummy boy." Zaku could only look in horror, as his leader was sent through a tree and he could do nothing as his arms were screwed. Dosu slowly made his way back and then kneeled before Sasuke and Naruto and presented his earth scroll. "You have won, we cannot beat you." And with that he took the unconscious Kin and left with Zaku right behind him. Neji and Tenten also left too, but they also had taken the downed Lee as well. Shika's team had already left when they saw Naruto get up. Sasuke turned to Naruto and said, "We have the earth scroll now, we leave." Naruto rolled his eyes at Sasuke's new attitude. "Oh wait, he is always like that, emo." He walked over to Sakura and handed out a hand to help her up, which she took. "You okay?" Yeah, was all she said as they made their way to the tower in the middle of the forest of death. Kabuto was supposed to meet them but he did not. When they got there they read the poster and Sakura said they had to open the scrolls at the same time. When they did that, Haruka appeared in a poof of smoke. Wow, I am glad you guys made it. The scared Chunin said. Come on, it is us, said Naruto with a smirk, and Sasuke just glared at his old teacher. Does he think I am weak? Anyway, you still have a few days left until the exam ends. So take this time to rest and look around the tower, Haruka said as he disappeared. They then walked around to find their room. Sasuke demanded that he have the master bed and let Sakura and Naruto decide about the bunk bed. I want the bottom, she said, and Naruto just shrugged and floated up to his bed. Sakura had noticed something during their trip from the fight with the Sound Ninja, and now, with the curse mark, Sasuke was even more of a jerk and all he cared about was power. She even noticed that she does not even love the guy, she only loved him because Ino did. She was really useless. She had also noticed that Naruto did not ask her out anymore. He had become stronger somehow during his unconsciousness and she was left in the dust. She had noticed she had a small crush on him but she didn't say anything because it seemed that he didn't anymore. She then questioned herself about how strong she was, she wasn't very strong at all. She decided to ask Naruto for help tomorrow, and with that she went to sleep with the other two already asleep. A few days later, they were in the area in the tower, all lined up with their team. The Hokage gave Hi's long-winded speech of how the Chunin exams were replacements for war and all that jazz. Then the proctor of the third exam appeared saying, in between coughs, I am Hayate and I think we should have a preliminary round because there are too many people. The Hokage nodded and a lot of people complained about it and they were offered a chance to go home, and surprisingly, only Kabuto went home saying he was too hurt. With that, everyone went up to the balconies before waiting for their names to be called. The first match was Sasuke Uchiha vs. Yoroi Ikato. They started the match with some taijutsu. But Sasuke noticed he was getting weaker. He then saw that Yoroi's hands were glowing. Yoroi smirked and said, I see you have finally noticed, my power is to suck the chakra out of you, now die. With that, he tackled Sasuke and held him by his neck, all the while sucking out his chakra. Sasuke had had enough of this before he used the shadow leaf jutsu he got off of Lee. He was about to do his next attack but the curse seal was acting up. Many people saw and Hayate was about to call the match when it receded and Sasuke yelled out, Lion's Barrage. He did a series of hard kicks to Yoro. And did one last kick to his stomach and sent him fly back into the ground, dead. Cough, winner Sasuke. Cough, said Heiei as everyone cheered. Naruto had noticed that Sakura was not cheering as loudly as before but he just shrugged it off, not like he cared. Kakashi then took Sasuke somewhere. The next two battles were pretty short. Zaku vs Shino, well let's just say, the Zaku got his arm's back but bugs went into his arms and when he tried using his special technique, it blew his arms off. Poor Zaku, Shino was the winner. The next match after that was Masumi Tsurugi vs Kankuro. Yep, that was short. Masumi had made himself all rubbery and tried to trap Kankuro but it turned out to be on his puppet, and since Masumi was pretty much useless after that, Kankuro was the winner. Naruto was interested in Kankuro's puppet, wondering what it could do. The next match was Sakura vs Ino and let's say it was just a freaking cat fight, with them just punching each other. The Ino cut her hair and trapped Sakura in it with a jutsu she made. She then used her mind transfer jutsu to get in Sakura's mind. Naruto's encouragement had helped Sakura get back control over her own body. Sakura then looked up to Naruto and he nodded his head. She then looked at Ino and said, "This where I win." "Oh, what makes you think that, billboard brow?" "This." She yelled and started doing hand signs for a jutsu that she almost had mastered. "Naruto, what jutsu is she using?" asked Kakashi as he appeared out of nowhere. "One that I taught her," he said cryptically, and even the others were puzzled at this. Naruto actually taught Sakura a jutsu. Fire style, strength of the Tamaranians. Sakura yelled as fire circled around her until it became pink and Naruto glowed a bit. She then rushed Ino and tried to punch her but missed as the blonde girl leapt out of the way. She may have missed, but everyone saw the result of the attack as she punched the ground to create a small earthquake, and then a fissure opened up and pink fire melted the surrounding area around her. Naruto smirked. It had worked, but he could see that she did not have much time left with the jutsu since she did not have full control over it. The rest of the Rookie 9, who had heard what Naruto said earlier, all look on in shock that Sakura was not useless and actually had strength. Kakashi had actually dropped his book and pulled up his headband to see that she did not have much control over this new jutsu, and it seemed it was unbalanced, but did not say anything yet. The others were just shocked. Unfortunately for Sakura, jutsu died down and the normal fight went back to what it originally was, crappy. They did one final attack and knocked each other out. Nobody won this battle, but it was talked about because of the one jutsu that was used. After that battle was done, it was Temari vs Tenten with Tenten losing badly. Then it was Shikamaru vs Kin with Shikamaru using his brain and having Kin bang her head against the wall, knocking her out. Then finally it was Naruto vs Kiba. It was finally time for his battle. He jumped off the rail and floated down while Kiba walked down all cocky-like. Naruto had contacted the Teen Titans at this point since he could not get to them earlier and set up the connection so they could see the battle. When Kiba did get down and the proctor said to begin, did he say anything? You should just quit now, Naruto. You're no match for us. Brash as ever, but no, I will not back down. Now dance for me, Naruto said, then yelled as he whipped out his sword and yelled out, Rampage of the Fox. He stabbed the sword into the ground and jumped back as the whole thing caught azure fire and started shooting forward and formed into running and jumping foxes going straight for Kiba and his dog. They had to really run and jump away from the burning foxes, and once they died out was when Kiba yelled at Naruto. What the hell was that? It is my own creation that follows the enemy wherever they go, but now I think I will do something else for this battle, said Naruto, which made Kiba go on guard. What now? Kiba yelled. Oh, how about this? Naruto said as he brought out a scroll and sealed an ugly-looking puppet. It was the Puppet King. You are kidding, right? That thing, laughed Kiba, but Kankuro was looking at the thing with amusement as well. He never saw such a stupid-looking puppet before. No, and now you will see why, Naruto said as he attached the chakra strings and it came to life and a set of seals appeared around its eyes glowing, and then Kiba and Akamaru glowed as well. Kiba said, what? But it came out as a bark. He then noticed that he had somehow switched bodies with Akamaru. Akamaru had noticed this as well, and they both started to panic by NNING around in circles while Naruto and the Titans laughed their asses off. The other ninja were just confused as to what was going on until Naruto explained. You see, Kiba, this puppet has the power to make people switch bodies and could also transfer their souls into little wooden puppets and then take control of the bodies like they were puppets. Naruto said to the shocked group of ninjas, including Kankuro, who really thought that was a good idea, but no one ever did that, till now. But this is too easy. Naruto snapped his fingers and the two were back to normal. You're going to pay for that, Naruto, Kiba said, really pissed off. He and Akamaru then did the man-beast clone jutsu and then used the Gatsuga to destroy the little puppet. Naruto just sighed as the pieces of the puppet went back into the scroll to repair itself. Now that was mean, but I guess I should expect no less from you, dog boy, and for that, I shall unleash the replicas of my friends, the Teen Titans. He unsealed Five small puppets that the Titans knew all too well and were wondering how Naruto would make this work. Kiba started laughing again while Kankuro narrowed his eyes, who knew what these things could do. The Hokage and the sensei were wondering what they could do as well. Aw man, you have got to be kidding me, Naruto. Those things are small, laughed Kiba. Yes, but they are hard to get at. Now let me introduce you to Robin, Beast Boy, Cyborg, Raven, and Starfire. As he said each name, their puppet came to life via chakra strings. The Hokage, Raven herself, Hinata, and Sakura all noticed that Naruto had blushed when saying her name. The Hokage was confused, Raven smirked, and Hinata and Sakura were pissed that someone had gotten Naruto already. Anyway, Naruto then made the three boys go after Akamaru, and the two girls went after Kiba. Now Kiba, I hope you know that some girls are stronger than boys. Take my sister for example, he said as the red-headed puppet flew up to Kiba and put her hands on Kiba's arm. Kiba chuckled a bit at the sheer stupidity of this until the little puppet threw him up in the air with him screaming like a little girl. Screaming like a little girl won't help you, now here is Raven. I cannot really replicate her powers, so I will just use darkness jutsu. He said, which got the attention of a lot of people. Darkness jutsu were very rare. Darkness style. Giant fist. The little puppet of Raven had darkness appear around its fist, which grew pretty big and started to punch Kiba a few times before slamming him to the ground. Naruto also had his attention on Akamaru. The Robin puppet was fighting the dog with Tiahutsu and his little element bomb. Cyborg was using his sonic cannon, but Naruto had called it lightning style, shock cannon, and he had turned Sai's other arm into a lightning blade called lightning style, shockwave blade. Beast Boy had turned into a normal-sized lion and was swiping at the poor dog. When the real Cyborg saw this through the link, he smacked his head saying, "Why didn't I think of that?" Beast Boy then turned into a crow and lifted the poor dog into the air where Kiba was once at, and then was shocked pretty good by Sai's lightning style, rapid lightning bullets. The puppy then fell next to down Kiba. When Kiba sat up, he was hurting pretty bad and was about to stand up if it were not for the puppet titans and their active jutsu pointed at him. Star had her chaos style, chaos ball, Raven with her darkness style, sword of darkness, Beast Boy, who had turned into a saber-toothed tiger, Cyborg with his lightning style. Shock cannon pointed at him, and Robin had his exploding dicks. What do you say, Kiba? You continue and I have my little friend blow you away all the way to Kingdom Come, or you give up. Naruto stated. Kiba hung his before he suddenly looked, he and Akamaru forming their Gatsuga again and plowing through the puppets and into Naruto's gut. No, he yelled. Fine, have it your way. Groaned Naruto as he shot up in the air. The puppets following him. Naruto unrolled the scroll he got the puppets from before. The Robin, Cyborg, and Beast Boy versions went up in a poof of smoke. Allow me to introduce you all to a newer Teen Titan. Terra. He called out as a Terra-like puppet appeared next to the puppet versions of Starfire and Raven. Oh, and what can this one do? Kiba asked wearily, while everyone rose an eyebrow. The real Terra can literally control the earth, so this Terra is similar. Naruto replied before he ran dive-bombed Kiba. He performed form hand signs before calling out, wind style, updraft. A gust of wind sent Kiba high into the air. The Starfire puppet rushed to the ground and positioned itself right under him and looked up. It performed a chaos style, chaos beams with its eyes, blasting the dog boy higher in the air and making him scream out in pain. The Raven and Terra puppets soared to opposite sides of the room and sent their own attacks, fists of darkness and earth, right at Kiba in the middle, keeping him in the air for a while. Naruto smirked as he flew right above Kiba before he made his right foot go aflame. He kicked Kiba down to the ground before he flew down himself and unseal a blue bass guitar and whacked Kiba into the statue across the room. Hayate came up next to the blonde and asked, "Where did you get that?" Naruto shrugged, "I am not really sure. But I seem to have conjured it when I eat tofu." That made a lot of people confused. Hayate shook his head before announcing Naruto the winner. For the most part, everyone was shocked. Naruto could use puppet like that with no trouble was amazing. Also add in the fact that Naruto used the jutsu like that to make his puppets all the more powerful and deadly, but they were still confused about the guitar. The Titans agreed that the battle was great and they learned that Naruto knew how to improvise. The next two battles were the same as the anime where Neji beat Hinata pretty battle. Why, and it pissed Naruto and the Teen Titans off. The next battle where Gaara beat Lee was very gruesome to the Titans and they learned that Gaara was crazy, with Robin thinking he would fit in well in Gotham. The last battle between Dosu and Choji was pointless because all Dosu had to punch him in his fat and he was down because of some weird sound attack. After that was all said and done, the link with Titans was cut and the Hokage told them that the real test will begin in a month, so they have all that time to train. It seemed that Naruto would be facing Neji in the third exam. This was going to be fun. When most of the people had left the room, Naruto walked up to the Hokage and they began talking about the Titans and them coming to Konoha via his new clone, the Titan clone. After Naruto had his meeting with the Hokage, he left to go home. As he walked, he though back to the meeting. Flashback. Hey old man, I got some stuff to tell you, it is important, said Naruto. The old man sighed and said, what is it, Naruto? Well, you know those puppets I used. Yeah, They really are real people. They are my friends. Starfire is the one that is my sister and I have a way to bring them here. The Hokage had a shocked look on his face. You said that they are in another world. How will you be able to do this? Two things. The mind link I share with them all and the new clone jutsu I invented. I can bring their minds into this village. New clone jutsu. You made a new clone jutsu. Yep, I call it the Titan clone. It is a mix of the shadow clone jutsu and blood clone jutsu. It will be like they are here and not there, said Naruto. That was all their little spy heard before he left to go tell Danzo about what he heard. That is incredible. Why did I never think of a clone jutsu like that? It is 'cause you're old, chuckled Naruto as the old man face vaulted. Now Naruto, I have but one concern and that is the council. You know they will try something. Naruto scowled and said, yeah I know. But I'll put them in their place if they do try something, he, said Naruto as he blew fire sunshined out of there, leaving a shivering Hokage at what Naruto would do to them. End flashback. With that he went to sleep after a long day. The next day, he went to go see where Kakashi was and he found him at the hospital. Kakashi-sensei, think you could help me train for the finals? Asked Naruto. But even he knew the answer to that question. Sorry Naruto I can't, I am going to be training Sasuke. Kakashi lazily said. Saw that coming. Naruto deadpanned in his mind. Yeah okay, I can get help somewhere else. I already planned on having the Titans come over. He said to himself but Kakashi heard him and wanted to ask but Naruto had already azure sunshined away. So Kakashi, where is that student you wanted me to meet? Asked Ebisu as he appeared on the scene. Gone. You can go after him if you want but I don't care. Kakashi said as he went back to his book and Ebisu just shrugged his shoulders. It was a waste of time anyway. Back with Naruto. Naruto was in training ground 7 and he was trying to figure out how to summon. He sighed and thought, hey, the old M. And should know how to do this, I'll ask him later, but right now I feel like bringing the Titans over here. Starfire, can you hear me? Yes, I can brother. What is it that you require? Do any of you wanna visit Konoha through your minds like I do when I come there? Glorious. I will ask them. Naruto only had to wait a few minutes as Starfire went in search of her friends. Brother, only a few of us can go at a time. Robin says that someone has to watch the tower. Well that is understandable, who can come? He said through the mind link. Me, along with Raven and Robin. They wish to see what the ninja world is like. Beast Boy and Cyborg will come later. Alright, you three should meditate because that is how you will take control of your Titan clone bodies. Right. After she said that, the link went dead. Alright indeed, said Naruto as he preformed 2 hand signs and 3 Titan clones appeared in the shape of Robin, Raven, and Starfire. He then put a hand to Starfire's forehand and whisper. Ed, connect, and she opened her eyes to her brother's world for the first time. He did that with the other 2 and they smiled. This is defiantly new. Robin commented. It is like I am in 2 places at once but I can't feel my original body. Hey, join the club man, chuckled Naruto. It is like being in my own mind, very different, commented Raven. Yeah well, come on, I want to give you guys a tour. Naruto said and then for about 2 hours they went around the whole village. They met the ramen chiefs and actually found the ramen they make to be really good. They finally ended up at the hot springs after looking at the village from atop the Hokage monument. Care to have a refreshing dip? That would be most glorious. Starfire announced with starry eyes. Come on friend Raven, let us fresh ourselves in the spring of hotness. She grabbed Raven before the girl could reply, making the boy's sweat drop. Well, come one Robin. Naruto said after a few seconds. Right. 10 minutes later, we see 2 happily sighing girls in their side the hot spring. Starfire looked over to Raven before asking, friend Raven. Yeah, Starfire. Do you like my brother? That question made Raven deadly inhale some of the steaming hot water her face was in, making the girl hack it out with wide eyes. When she regained her breath, she blushed and said, what do you mean? She asked and knew that something exploded. I think we both know friend Raven. Starfire said in all seriousness, making Raven blink before sinking into the water and blowing some bubbles. I speak the bubbles. Raven sighed. How could you tell? Knew for a long time now. I am still confused with your earthly ways, but why don't you take him like our people do? I am not sure what you mean by that, and to be honest, I am not sure if he likes me. I can tell he likes you, but like I said before, we Tamarins are being of emotion, so this might come as shock to you. What is it, Starfire? Race is polygamous. So that would mean my brother, Foxfire, will have a few girls with him along with you if you want to be with him, though I have not told him that yet. Raven looked at her friend in pure shock. What? A few minutes earlier with the boys. Both boys shared a freaked out look. Why, may you ask? Well, a rock just spontaneously exploded not a few feet from where they were in the hot spring. After calming down, Naruto looked to Robin and asked, speaking of things spontaneously exploding, is it safe to leave Cyborg and Beast Boy alone in the tower? Robin smirked. I got it handled. In the tower, Beast Boy was strapped to a chair that shifted along with him so he could not escape, while Cyborg was strapped to his sleeping station with his arms unstable. Yo, let me free. Yeah dudes. This is so now cool. Back to Naruto and Robin. Naruto threw his head back and laughed. Man, remind me to get on your bad side. Robin smirked. What? They heard Raven's voice as a nearby Ok melted and the water around them shot up and then fell on them. We should go see if they are alright. Robin suggested. Right, but I wonder what Sis said to Raven. Naruto thought out loud. Robbie. And shrugging his shoulders before they got back into their normal clothes again. As they walked toward the girls' wall on the outside of the springs, the boy debated on who should ask if they were okay. I am not. I heard what happens to people who try and they get treated like perverts here, and I don't feel like being a blood husk on the ground. Well, I am no. Who is that? Robin refused before asking as they saw a long and spiky white-haired man in a red and green outfit and clogs, looking through a hole in the wall toward his sister and a girl he likes. Naruto's eyes became shadowed as an evil smile creeped onto his face and he cracked his knuckles. That Robin is a pervert, he said in a very creepy voice that made Robin fear for the pervert's safety. Naruto calm walked over to the man, but stopped. We heard the man giggle perversely and say something. Man, this Foxfire guy has given me a good idea for my new book. I'll call it Ika Ika Flames of the Fox. That was not a good thing to say because Naruto cracked his fingers, making the man freeze up and glance fearfully at the menacing figure who had a blue bass guitar in his hand. Naruto snarled as he cocked back the guar. Just who the hell do you think I am? He yelled, startling the girls inside the spring who decided to go see what happened. Whack! The guitar hit with Jiraiya's head just as the toweled girls made their way outside. Brother, why did you hit that man in the head that is dressed as the Japanese actor? Simple, he was peeping on you. Forgive me, but what does the peeping mean? He means, the man was looking at our bodies without our permission. Growled Raven as black energy was flaming around her form. He is otherwise known as a peeping Tom. Starfire gasped before her eyes began to glow a fierce green, scaring the crap out of a downed Jiraiya. The Tom of peeping must be punished, she yelled as she formed her starbolts. Starfire, wait, Naruto called. She glared fiercely at her brother for stopping her. This man does this crap as a profession. He peeps on girls and then writes books called Ika Ika. How about we let all the ladies behind us get their justice? Naruto replied, Ma. King Robin quickly looked behind them only to pale as he saw a lot of very angry women. Naruto turned to Jiraiya and said, my name is Naruto Uzumaki aka Foxfire. He introduced himself with a mock bow. The Toad Sage's eyes widened at that fact. I leave you to your doom. He and his friends stepped to the side to let the many women have a whack at he perverted man, Starfire and Raven grinning evilly at the man's pain as he cried in pain like a little girl. At that moment, an Anbu appeared next to Naruto, saw the beating, sweat dropped, and then turned to Naruto. Uzumaki-san, the council demands to see you and your friends, he said and then disappeared. Well, I should have known this was coming, Naruto said as they looked at him oddly. Hold on guys, we are traveling by Shunshin. They EAC held on to him before they all disappeared in an azure flame up, leaving a screaming Toad Sage. 4x. Naruto and his Titan friends had arrived at the council chamber to see a smug-looking Danzo along with the civilian council and an irated ninja council along with Sarutobi. Also in the back, they could see Sasuke Uchiha next to Danzo. This can't be good. Naruto deadpanned. I am sorry about th. Is Naruto, but it seems that Danzo had a spy on our conversation, said the old man, but in his eyes Naruto saw the rest of what he wanted to say, yeah, but not all of the conversation. Great, said Naruto sarcastically, but he was telling his friends telepathically about the council and they were already pissed. One of the reasons I want to get out of here. Don't worry Naruto, we will keep our cool, thought Robin. So what do you want? Said Naruto with his arms crossed. Danzo smirked and then said, it has come to our attention that we have new people in our village and they are with our resident demon boy. That is unacceptable, so I thought of a way to punish them and also keep you in line. Still clinging to that stupid thought that I am the Kyuubi, huh? Said an annoyed Naruto. You are the fucking demon, you little hell spawn. Yelled a random civilian clan head. Yes, and demons are not to have friends, it is bad enough that we let you be a ninja. We of the council belie. They that it is our job to keep you in line by making your life a living hell, said a smug Danzo while the ninja council scowled at that. That is why we are going to arrest your colorful masked friend, because we can. And those two girls are going to the Sasuke so he can restart his clan, and if they refuse, haha, we will use them as breeding stocks. You, demon, have no choice in this matter, and we are also going to strip you of your ninja license while also send you to jail as well, so we can truly keep you in line and beat you every day if we wish, for you see, demons do not deserve to live. He would have said more, but the killing intent is very high. Some of it was from the ninja council and the old man, but that was pretty much snuffed out by Naruto intense killing intent, hell some of it was even coming from Raven. You keeping your cools, don't I have to keep mine to make a point? He said to the Titans. From where he stood, nobody could see his eyes because his hair was shadowing them. But what scared them was that superheated blue fire that was coming off Naruto. Who the hell do you think you are? If you even read about the mission to Wave, you would have seen that I unlocked my bloodline and that it killed off the Kyuubi. Oh, and if your little spy stayed and heard the whole conversation, well, we would not be here right now. Stop your lies, Kyuubi. That village doesn't know what you are, said the same civilian, who then got a kunai through his throat thanks to the Hokage. Danzo glared at the old man and the Hokage shrugged and said, he broke my law. Fine, but I am Curry. Ouse, what was the rest of the conversation? The one-eyed man asked. If the idiots from Root can't stay and listen to the whole conversation, that they truly are useless, said Naruto, shocking everyone. But the Hokage about how he knew of Root. Now, the rest of the conversation was that my friends are here, but they are also not here. You see, I have made a new clone jutsu called Titan Clone. That is a mix between shadow and blood clones. They are also not from this world, only connected thanks to my jutsu. So they are not truly here and you can't really hurt them. If you could get at them, I would kill you in a heartbeat. For Robin is a good friend of mine, Starfire, the one with orange skin like me, is my sister, and Raven is a good friend too. So try all you want, you'll just die. Naruto ended with another flare of his power to freak out the civilian council. Oh, and just to clear something up, Danzo, started Sarutobi, you ever make a notion like that without my approval, I will personally kill you myself. It is troublesome, but I am with the Hokage on that. The Nara head said lazily, and other ninja clan heads agreed on that. Oh, and Danzo, here is another piece of info that I am sure you didn't bother to find out. My bloodline sped up the process that the seal I once had on me to contain the Kyuubi. Now the Kyuubi is gone. If you don't believe me, asked Hiyashi. Hiyashi Knew Danzo was going to ask since he was a cold hard pansy and did it anyway. He saw nothing, just a huge store of chakra. He speaks the truth. Danzo was furious. He had failed to finally be rid of the demon because he could not have it as a weapon, but he had noticed that since the wave mission, people were more friendly to him. He wanted to be a hero too, so he could gain more favor with the village he would do anything for. Damn it, I'll kill you myself. With that he raised his hand and a spear shot out of it, along with a chakra string. It almost pierced Naruto, but he had moved out of the way and knocked it back. And since Hiyashi was closer to Danzo, he hit all of his chakra points. No, try again and you will feel death. Damn it. Fine, said the man as he accepted defeat. With that Naruto and his friend left while the Hokage told the council about Naruto and his family. Once outside, Naruto said, I think you guys should back home. Danzo might try something, but I intend to cut him off at that. I need BB and Cyborg for the prank of the century. At this the three titans shivered and wanted to be nowhere from here when that went off. Alright, and thanks, we really need to get you to our world and fast, said Robin as he was already sweating from fear of the three pranksters. Yes, you were very brave to stand up to those people, Starfire said as he gave him a big hug. Yeah, thanks, Raven said next as she walked up and gave him a kiss on the cheek, making them both blush, both for different reasons. Sakura, Hinata, and Ino walked around the corner and the peck on the cheek. They quickly hid behind the corner before poking their heads out. Who is she? Asked Hinata with a glare and venom in her voice, shocking her to friends. They came into the flower shop early. The colorful one is a friend named Robin, the orange-skinned one is his sister, Starfire, and the chick that kissed him is Raven, which I am assuming is a love interest. At this both Sakura and Hinata glared at the girl. Then Naruto and his friends said something that they couldn't hear and they went up in smoke, shocking the girls. They then saw Naruto do the jutsu again and the clones transfo RMED into a green-skinned kid and a metal-like kid. Okay, I am out of here, this has just gotten weird, said Ino as they left, but Hinata had her bloodline activated to look for Raven. She would have revenge. Okay, you guys get it. I am going to pull a prank here and I need help. With 3 prank masters on this, Konoha doesn't stand a chance, said Naruto, and the two smirked. The 3 went off in some direction, planning what they would do to this place. They even laughed and made a lot of people uneasy. However, Beast Boy and Cyborg regrouped a few minutes later. Hey, let's give Naruto some more tofu. Cyborg shivered before he smirked. Okay, but Konoha is in for one hell of a day tomorrow. The boys laughed evilly, scaring a lot of people. The next morning, a box was on each on the ninja clan's porches. What they found inside was a seal and letter. The letter said to put it on when Guy and Lee started hugging. Yeah, that was a bad sign. When the rest of the village woke up, they found that something was off, but continued normally. Though, when people got out of their homes, they saw it, or rather each other. Everyone was a different color and some were even a rainbow of colors. That wasn't all, they stunk too. Stinky water, well actually, the whole village stunk. The sewers were overloaded with high-powered stink bombs. The houses were also covered in wet toilet paper, aloe-ing with everyone's real furniture on top of random roofs which they were super glued there, and whoever tried to touch them got shocked or get caught in a genjutsu that made them laugh insanely. Then, flaming bags of crap appeared out of nowhere as paintballs appeared out of nowhere, then made the bags explode, sending crap and burnt paint flying on everyone. They noticed that they were really itchy too. Those people never noticed a Naruto in the shadows, dressed as the Full Metal Alchemist and giggling insanely before poofing out of existence. Let's just say for half the morning, there was Chao's in the streets, and only some of them noticed that the Hokage monument had been painted again, but this time they were painted to look like the Power Rangers on drugs. After a while, they noticed that there would be a lot of work to do to get back to normal, but first they had to get through what was coming next. At noon, a genjutsu set in and not even the Hokage could break it. Of course he didn't, since he was protected. It happened and no one would ever forget. A drugged Guy and Lee made their way to the top of the Hokage tower, while their genjutsu copies dance around Konoha. Heck, some them were doing odd poses like the Ginyu Force. Why? Well, they were wearing pink totos over their now yellow jumpsuits. Some were even dressed as the Teletubbies, Barney, the freaks from Sesame Street, and green hopping bunnies of doom. Some of the copies that were real Naruto clones, that went and dragged out all the civilian council members and Danzo, who were dressed in twisted and psycho-looking clown outfits. That and all the Guy and Lee clones made everyone want to scream in horror. Oh, but that was not the end to this. As soon as Guy and Lee made it to the top of tower, they started hugging like there was no tomorrow. Then the genjutsu made them look 50 times bigger, along with that sunset. People were about to scream but stopped as they saw something worse. Guy and Lee's clothes were fading away. That did it. That made everyone scream in horror and run around like they were chickens with their heads cut off. As this day comes to an end, it looks like people are now foaming at the mouth. But it was also the time when a strange yellow gas was covering the entire village. People felt the urge to sing. That was because a Naruto clone was dressed as Negi Springfield along with his furry friend. Kamo were casting spells to make the gas appear. One person got up, then one by one they all got up and started singing and dancing. Young men, there's no need to feel down. I said, young men. Pick yourself off the ground. I said, young men, 'cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy. Young men, there's a place you can go. I said, young men, when you're short on your dough. You can stay there, and I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself clean, you can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Young men, are you listening to me? I said, young men. What do you wanna be? I said, young men, you can make real your dreams. But you've got to know this one thing. No man does it all by himself. I said, young men, put your pride on the shelf. And just go there to the YMCA. I'm sure they can help you today. Young men, I was once in your shoes. I said, I was down and out with the blues. I felt no man cared if I were alive. I felt the whole world was so tight. That's when someone came up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street. It's a place they're called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for young men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Young men, there's no need to feel down. Young men, pick yourself off the ground. YMCA. And just go to the YMCA. Young men, I was once in your shoes. Young men, I was down with the blues. YMCA. Gaara looked at his siblings. Then the rest of the village and said to Shikaku, this place is nuts and that is saying something. Got that right, kid. This is my kinda town. The beast said as it laughed and sung along. Mommy, I'm scared. Gaara cried as he went into the fetal position, Shukaku laughing in his head. Atop the Hokage monument, Naruto, BB, Cyborg were all laughing their asses off, and so were the titans in the tower. They had even somehow hooked it up to the TV system in their world so everyone could see. Man, that was good. I can't believe you thought of most of that, Naruto. BB said to a strangely dressed Naruto. Our blonde was dressed exactly like Kamina from Gurren Lagann, orange sunglasses and all. Hey. Just who the hell do you think I am? Naruto dodged an incoming strike from Robin's staff before he back-flipped from a star bolt from Starfire. His eyes widened when a tree covered in Raven's energy came barreling toward him. Having no time to dodge, he used his star energy to SPL. It hit down the middle like a hot knife through butter before he jumped to the ground, his back to the three. Opening his eyes, he turned around and gave the three a bright smile. Well, I can honestly saying training with you guys is really fun. Robin gave him a nervous grin. Is going all out on you for the last 30 minutes for train is fun to you. Man, you ninja really got you work cut out for you. Yes, this was a wonder session of Train of the Ninja. Starfire happily said, feel spinning in midair. Raven smiled. Pranks with Beast Boy and Cyborg one day and Train is the next, never a dull moment with you is there. Nope. Naruto smiled, putting emphasis on the P. I got say, training with you is really keeping me on my toes, thank you. Hey, it is no problem, besides, you gotta survived in this world till we can find a way to get you over to our world permanently. Robin commented before he zoned out for a bit and came back with a growl. We got trouble, Robin reported. Then go on, save the day. Naruto replied with a bored face. Robin nodded before he poof out of the ninja world with Raven shortly after as he waved goodbye. Starfire came up to Naruto and gave him a hug. Be safe. Don't worry, I'll be fine. Naruto replied with a smile as she disappeared. You seem to be getting a lot stronger. A voice called out. Naruto turned to see his pink-haired teammate. Oh hey Sakura, what are you doing here? I was looking for Kakashi to get some training done here at our training ground, but I couldn't find him and I saw you fighting those titans. She replied. Yeah, I ran into Kakashi the other day. I too wanted some training but he brushed me off to train Sasuke, said I was fine on my own. Now I don't blame the guy, Sasuke has a real fight ahead of him. He has to fight Gaara after all. Naruto said as he observed Team 7's training ground. It was a real mess to say the least. He also passed me on to the closet pervert Ebisu, but I ditched him. It is okay, Sakura said sadly. She was sad that her sensei didn't even bother to help her out, but she was very confused about what the traffic light boy had said about getting Naruto to their world. However, she would ask later. She had come with a purpose. Naruto, I want to train with that jutsu again, but I have noticed that there are some lingering side effects. And what would that be? Naruto asked, giving her his full attention. Seems I am gaining more and more strength, like the famed Tsunade. I also noticed that at one point Mai was on fire and it was pink. Pink fire. That is new, Naruto said thoughtfully. Guess that jutsu is more than it seems when we made it. Naruto, train with me for a bit, she demanded. Naruto smirked, fine by me, I still have plenty of energy left. The pink red girl nodded before doing some hand signs, fire style, strength of the Tamaranians. The two glowed for a moment before Sakura rushed the blonde and sent a punch at him, to which he held out a palm and stopped it easily. The result was a shock wave that rumbled the training grounds a bit. He quirked an eyebrow. It would seem that with each use, she could use the jutsu longer. How many times has she used it, gotten these side effects? Is she turning into a Tamaranian, or is the jutsu creating a new bloodline in the girl? Nice, but it is my turn now. And before she could even react, he spun Uru. ND while still holding her fist and threw her high in the air. He smirked as he charged up and blew fireball and shot it at the girl. His eyes widened when he saw her hand go aflame with pink fire and the shoot said energy at him to negate the attack. However, what shocked him even more was that she was floating in the air. However, that was short-lived and she plummeted back to the ground. Quickly he shot up and caught her bridal style and flew back to the ground. Blushing a bit, Sakura quickly got out of his arms and wobbled a bit, a sign that the jutsu had ended. Though the thing troubling her was that the powers she gets from the jutsu eventually stay with her. I can't believe it. I was floating in the air, and you threw me up there. He cried out and punched him square in the jaw, and with her new strength, he was sent flying across the training grounds. She paled at that and ran to him. Naruto groaned a bit as he got up. As that was it feels like to be the receiving end of one my punches. He groaned to himself as he got up and dusted himself off as Sakura came up to him. I am sorry, Naruto. I guess I really don't know my own strength anymore, Sakura frantically said. Naruto chuckled. It is fine, Sakura, but with the new powers you are getting outside of using that jutsu, I suggest you see if you are developing new bloodline. Sakura's eyes widened before she nodded. Yeah, I should do that now. I will see later, Naruto, she said as she ran off, floated a bit before she found the ground again. Naruto sighed as she ran into the woods. Then his stomach growled. Man, lunchtime already. Guess I have really been busy today, he said to himself before flying off to Ichiraku's for a well-deserved lunch. When he got there, he saw Kiba and Shino already eating. Yo, he said, getting their attention. Great, we just need Shikamaru and Choji and the old gang would be all here, Kiba announced as the blonde sat down next to them. So I guess you training for the final exam. Which way? Pigging out on ramen of actual training. Naruto gave the dog boy a deadpanned look. What do you think? He said, making Kiba laugh. Hey, Shino, you think you'll be ready? With a month's time to prepare. It should give me adequate time to make sure I am, was Shino's reply, so Naruto just assumed that was a yes. When the ramen came, Naruto chowed down until he ate 20 bowls of the stuff. Waving goodbye to Kiba and Shino, Naruto headed to the Hokage monument. It was time to see how Terra was doing. Once he was situated on the fourth Hokage's head, he began to meditate. He felt the familiar sensation of his mind in another world and in someone else's head. Terra was sitting on a cliff, observing the sunset in her world. She had been training to control her powers all day and she was pretty tired. She idly thought about the Titans back in Jump City. She regretted her outburst at Beast Boy, and at least Foxfire was still nice to her. In her mind, Naruto saw everything through her eyes, and by using her peripheral vision he saw something that he didn't like. A fast jet of water was coming straight at her. Backflip out of the way. That sudden thought scared the crap out of her. But she did anyway and was glad she did. For where she used to sit, a huge blast of water obliterated that spot. T-clone. This thought confused her and she just ignored it as it was not very helpful against some zombie-looking teens and a boatload of Slade bots. Naruto appeared on a cliff above the girl thanks to the T-clone and was surprised that he could do that by himself in this world. As he observed the fight between Terra versus Slade bots and the zombie-like metahumans, he noticed that she had gotten better, which was always a good thing. She saw that there were 3 zombie-like metahumans. On was the water user and she was going all out on Terra. Then there was a fire user who would only use his powers with their wind-using friend and create fire tornadoes at the Earth girl. He smirked and made his way down there for a sneak attack. Earth style. Golem no Jutsu. Naruto shouted, making everyone freeze in place at the new voice. Then the ground shook as a golem of rock rose out of the ground and he jumped inside as there was no head to it. Alright, time for something new. Foxfire. Who else? Naruto said with a smirk, making the blonde girl laugh before she ducked under a water stream. Talk later. Fight now. Right, she said as she brought the earth around her fists and punched through a few Slade bots and then the gut of the water user. Naruto smirked. He had been wanting to try out this set of jutsu for a long time. Earth style. Diamond bringer. He called out as the right arm of the golem around him shifted a bit and from the elbow down, a giant blob of diamond sprouted out and then caught fire thanks to Naruto's energy. All element style. Rapid blaster. He called out and like his right arm, his left arm transformed into a large blaster of sorts. A fire tornado came at him and he brought up his left arm before he shot out a torrent of wind and fire, negating both attacks. He then rushed right up to the 2 metahuman and bonked them on the head, knocking them out. He turned just in time to see Terra finish her battle with the water user. Terra dodged left and right as the water came at her. Finally she had enough before she growled and lifted her arms high in the air. Her yellow energy flowing off her. The result was the ground around her shoot up and then plowing right through the water and knocking away the water user. Turning her head, she saw Naruto walking up to her in that bulking golem armor. That is interesting, she said before she paled and remembered that a small army of Slade bots were head their way. Any ideas on getting rid of those because I am dog tired? He arched an eyebrow at the robots. I got a jutsu for this, you just rest because he do look pretty pale. Yeah, I have been training all day and that last attack drained me. Terra commented. Alright then, Naruto said as he turned to face the incoming army. This attack will give me some time to get ready for a better attack. He said as the golem me. LTED away except for the arms but then they combined on his right arm. Fire and earth style. Diamond destroyer. The combination shot off his arm like a rocket and as soon as it got in the army a bit, it exploded in a shower of multicolored light. Fortunately for them, all that was left was a few stranglers that he took out with his star bolts. Huh, packed more of a punch than I thought. Naruto said thoughtfully. Holy cow. Terra replied with a face full of pure shock. Once she got over it, she pumped her fist high in the air. That was amazing. Ya know, if it let about half of them live, I could have used my rising lava blade jutsu, but that was good too. How do you have so much energy, Foxfire? Terra asked him, flabbergasted. A lot, he said with an ice smile. So, what that yo? You that told me to backflip and about that T-clone thing? She asked. Yup, I originally came to see how you were doing, seems I found trouble instead. Naruto replied with a smirk. So how far along are you? I just started water walking today, but since I was drained, I went and rested because I fell through the water each time I tried. Well, once you are rested up, wanna come to my world and train a bit? Huh, how would I do that? Terra asked and after a very long explanation, she finally got it. Wow, that is a lot to take in. Well, when you are ready to train tomorrow, just contact me through the mind link and I help ya got over there. Will do, even if this is a bit weird. Terra commented. I thought so too. Naruto said before he poofed away. XXX. In Slade's hideout, the Ma-en himself had observed the fight and smirked behind this 2-color mask. So, the famed Foxfire is teaching her how to use her powers. Good, saves me a lot of trouble. You are helping me more than you know, Foxfire. 4x. The next day, after Naruto had his morning training with Beast Boy and Cyborg this time, he was lying on the grass, cloud gazing. Hey Naruto. I am ready. I just do those hand sig. NS along with Tat Jutsu name and I will be over there. Hey, yep. Naruto mentally replied as he got up and in a poof of smoke, Terra was in Naruto's world. Right, so I put all my stuff in a nearby CA. They in my real body is there too so no one can mess with anything. Terra informed her blonde friend. Good, now I get to show you around the village, even the hot springs but don't count on going in today with that idiot pervert around. Naruto told her, to which she just rose an eyebrow at. Shrugging, she followed her blonde friend throughout the village, showing her the sights like the marketplace, some of the training grounds, the academy he went to, and even the front of the Forest of Death. Eventually they made their way to the ramen stand so she could meet the Ichirakus. There, they also ran into Choji and Shikamaru. They were wary of the girl in the beginning because she looked a lot like Ino and they assumed that she was bossy like her. Thankfully, she was not and they became quick friends. Even though Shikamaru thought it was troublesome. Choji was even surprised that she could eat as much as him and Naruto and so say the ramen stand had hit the jackpot was an understatement. They were rolling in dough by the time the blonde duo left. Right now however, they were on top of the fourth Hokage's head of the Hokage monument. Wow! Terra exclaimed as she observed the whole village. It's beautiful. Yup. This is my favorite place in the whole village. My home away from home. I see, well thank you for taking me here. Terra smiled brightly. So where now? Now we get some training done. But since I am not much of a earth user, we'll go see the old man. The who? I call him old man but he is the leader of my village. Naruto said, making Terra gape at him. Hey, got on my back, we are flying there. She silently agreed and hopped on his back, put her arms around his neck and blushing a bit because of their close proximity. Naruto shot off, flying high in the air before dive bombing to the ground. The blonde girl screaming the whole way down. Thankfully they never had to touch the ground because Naruto veered to the side as he circled the Hokage tower and land. On the side of it where the windows were. He knocked on them and saw the old man open them. Yo. Hello Naruto. I was expecting you. The old man said and got confused looks. Hey, this is my village. I should know what goes on in these walls. He was laughing in his mind because he had just used his crystal ball. So please, tell me who this frazzled young lady is. Terra, having recovered from her near-death experience, straightened her hair a bit and said, I am Terra. Ah, one of the titans I presume. No, not yet. I training my powers before I accept their offer. Terra said and he nodded as he thought it was a good thing to do. Naruto is helping me train but his element is wind. Ah, I see your dilemma, but what power of earth do you have? I can show you if you want. Shrugged Terra. Very well, let's go outside. XXX. Once outside of the Hokage tower, old man Sarutobi gave off a grandfatherly smile, letting her know he was ready. Terra nodded before her eyes and hands glow. Yellow before she slowly brought her fists up and earth shot out of the ground, making old man's eyes widen. Well, control over the earth like that is very rare. Well, some would classify me as a metahuman. A what? Asked a perplexed Hokage. It is a first-time bloodline user for us. Naruto replied. I see. Well I guess I will give you this, just please return it to me when you are done. The old man said as he gave the blonde girl a journal of sorts. Thank you, she said happily and hugged him. So this is where you are. A voice said. They turned to see that face of Jiraiya himself. Oh, it is just the pervert from before. Did my guitar whack some sense into you? Naruto commented and got a look from the old man. Or was it the horde of angry women that I let beat you up while I went to my meeting? Why you? I was doing research. Jiraiya said. What are you researching that needs you to peep on girls, including that of my sister and our friend? Oh that's right, that damn book of yours. Naruto growled. What a pervert. Terra growled, making her eyes flicker yellow for a moment. I am not a pervert. I am super pervert. The white-haired man shouted while striking a pose. He is admitting it, thought the three with a big sweat drops. So what do you want? Asked a now bored Naruto. I want to train you for the exams and will also help out with her training if need be. Jiraiya offered. And what would you be training me in? Naruto asked, his interest now piqued. The same thing that I taught your uncle, the summoning jutsu. Jiraiya said, making Naruto smirk. Cool. Throw in some seals and help me prefect the Rasengan and you got yourself a deal. Naruto smirked with a raised eyebrow. Ungrateful brat. Jiraiya muttered. Fine, I just hope you can keep up. I know I can, Naruto said, not taking his eyes off the man and crossing his arms. This is great and also I will see you tomorrow. Terra said with a smile towards Naruto. Alright then, and don't worry. I'll make sure he does nothing perverted around you. Naruto said, making the girl smile brightly at him before going up in a poof of smoke. Jiraiya gave Naruto an odd look. Naruto sighed before he said, I'll explain, don't worry. Naruto said, XXX. Later that night, Naruto fell asleep pretty well, but he was not going to the dream world this night. Black had just escaped prison and was a space bar, drinking away her sorrows. She wiped a tear away as she drank down another shot. The bartender sighed as she asked for another shot. That was the scene Naruto saw through her eyes when he fell asleep. Geez, don't ya think you have had enough? No, I be done when I pass out. Listen, I am not one to pry but was gives. I haven't seen you come in a lot but on this day you drink yourself silly. She was about to answer when some drunk alien walked up to her and began to hit on her. Her response was to send him through a wall via a purple starbolt. I come here grieve the day that my younger brother was sucked into a black hole. The same day that the same thing happened to my aunt and uncle. They are mostly likely all dead, she said with wiping away more tears. Wait a sec, I thought why? Oh, you just had a sister that you always gripe about. Starfire. She is his twin and for some reason she is always too freaking happy. Blackfire cried. But she does have a soft spot for him. I saw her time crying her eyes out when she was younger. She put up a front so no one sees how sad she really is. So what is his name then? Foxfire, was the one-word answer from the girl before she downed the shot. However, Naruto had heard enough and was through being quiet. So, you're my sister, Huh, she said, looking around and getting an odd look from the bartender. Must be hearing things. She sniffed. Nope, I am here. Just take a look at that mirror there and you'll see what I am talking about. She did as told and gasped when she saw her image. Her eyes were not her own. The eye were the eyes that she remembered oh so well. How? Well, we are siblings and for that we are connected after all. Now, let me get over there so we can talk and people won't send you to the funny farm. Clone. In a poof of smoke. Naruto appeared in all his glory, but did not have time to actually look at her as she was at his side in an instant, giving him a hug that rivaled Starfire's. Ow. Man and. I thought Starfire's hugs hurt in the beginning. I am sorry. Blackfire cried, still clinging to him but loosening her grip a bit. I just thought I would never see you again. I can understand that, Naruto said as he began to explain where he had been all this time. I see, you are really in another dimension and you are only able to project yourself in this world because of your connections to us. She said with a smile. Well, I am glad I still have a connection with you then. I will make my way back to Earth. This going to be a long trip. If it is long, you could always go to my world and help me train some of the time. Naruto offered. Blackfire smiled as she backed up from the hug. I would like that. Space gets pretty lonely, she said and then downcast her eyes. I just hope a fight doesn't break out when I get back. A fight? She did not have the courage to look him in the eyes. Me and Starfire have not been on the best of terms. Is that all? Naruto asked, quirking an eyebrow, making Blackfire look at him oddly. Well, when I get back, I will help you mend your relationship. Teary-eyed, Blackfire gave him another hug before he said that had to go. Disa. Pete paired in a poof of smoke and when she looked up, her eyes were full determination. She quickly paid for her drinks and walked outside. Once there, she shot off like a rocket. The end. Thanks for watching, also remember to subscribe and like this video. See you in the next video.